shouldn't want you, I shouldn't need you, but I'm afraid that's not up to me. Cause when I hear you sing through my speakers, it's like my mind takes a hold of me. I've tried shutting you off for some time now, but I'm still hearing your voice in my head. Oh, I wish I was more than your fan now, and that your voice came from here in my bed. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, singing to me. You're in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, baby, in my headphones, making me bleed. You're in my
The time has come to challenge them. Welcome to Spike Nations, the competitive territory that brings together the most exceptional professionals and content creators in the EMEA region, representing their nations under a single banner. Competitiveness and fellowship come together to forge the duel between their teams, fans and ambassadors in a historic way. But first things first, Spike Nations is divided into 3 phases. Firstly, the national phase, where it all starts with the call. The ambassador and coach of each region will reveal all the players on October 24. Only the best 12 players of each region will be selected, comprised of top talents from VCT, VALORANT challengers and game changers. This brings us to the show match stage. Between October 25th and October 31st, each ambassador will broadcast matches to select the final roster between the best 6 players in their region. The battle begins with the international phase. With all the rosters completed, we will reach the limit of the online phase. Starting on November 7th, the teams will battle it out across 5 days of competition, with only the 4 best teams advancing to the final stage. After these 2 stages, we will move to the final part, the live stage, where the 4 best teams will compete in a best of 3 Swedish bracket. But that's not all. These 4 teams will compete in Madrid, Spain, in the biggest LAN event for the country, GamerG 2023. The spike has been planted, but now you have to support your favourite ambassador and clutch the round by cheering them on at GamerG 2023. Thanks for watching, and follow us on our social media accounts to know all our broadcast updates.
Hello and good evening everyone to another day of Spike Nation. I am Moon. I'll be delighted to be your host for today, and I'll be accompanied with the one and only Ryan Central here, who will be enriching our experience with his insight and analysis of the game. Good evening, Ryan. How have you been doing?
Enrich would be the key word there. I'm just going to probably just rag on Spain for the rest of the day. Like, it seems to be the natural thing that I'm like coming into of just, yeah, they should have a better time today, though, but I'm enjoying it. Great first week. Now we have our 3 days back-to-back to see who's going to be making top 4. Who's going to be bragging rights, I suppose, for the best country in Europe when it comes to these teams.
Clearly, and by battling, you do not only prove that you're one, if not the best team in Europe since Spike Nation, you also get a different seed, of course, and let's say a moral advantage, a higher ground when reaching the finals later on. So, of course, let us get more insight about the tournament so far. And, well, so far so good. We already built the team on the month of October. November is right now, as we're already engaging our 3rd day of single round robin on the international phase. The LAN is looming, with 3 days remaining on our countdown, through which we will get to discover the champion of the current Spike Nations, with a lot of spices, of course, on the 16th of December during the GamerG. Or GamerG. Pardon my accent, pardon my French in here. So, Ryan, how do you feel about things so far? We've got a lot of mixed up feelings, we've got a lot of prediction, we expected things to go in a specific way, and, well, with the results that they stand, how do you see the finals, building up?
Ooh, I mean, I think the couple of days break that we've had since last Thursday's like really enabled some teams to maybe bounce back from this. Like I mentioned, Spain, they're 0-2. Arguably, they played up against the 2 hardest teams in this tournament so far, so this week should be a lot easier for them, but it's still an element of like, how much did they actually practice, how much did they scrim? A lot of teams seem to be, starting off being like, it's like a show match tournament, right? It doesn't matter too much. It's kind of like a glorified World Cup. We can go from there. But now they're getting more and more invested into it. And now I want to see some of these teams really put the effort and time into it and really nail this week to get that top 4. Because that's all they realistically need. They get 4th place, it won't matter. They can still go into the finals in December and actually make the top spot if they want to really gun for it.
Yeah, definitely, and very good mention of you. Okay, it might be like a show match tournament, but again, I don't think that the competitive spirits of, professional or semi-professional video game players.
Pride as well, the country pride, right?
Yeah, the country pride as well. So there's too much to gain in here. The pride is, of course, way too much to lose. Nobody would like to lose their pride. But let's chip in, because the prize pool is of 20,000 euros. Of course, divided as such: 8k for the first position, 5k for the second, 2.5 for the third and fourth position, and the fifth and sixth will go with a consolation prize of 1,000 euro each. And of course, all of this was possible thanks to our sponsors. Let's remind you, Alienware and Intel who have made such a delectable experience happen to all of us. So another question that has been bothering me, because right now we're looking at a very packed schedule for tonight. Games, of course, that we didn't witness before, simply because, well, the matchups just couldn't happen with the current format. So we're looking at the first games that will include Turkey versus Germany, France versus Italy, and of course, to, the icing on the cake in here, Spain versus UK. Are you mentally ready for those games?
I don't know about the UK one, really, because I do think that, like, Spain, rough start for them, but, like, UK is sort of in that middle ground. I think they're really on the precipice of whether they actually make top 4 or not. I think when it comes to, like, Turkey and France, they've been absolutely bombing it so far in these groups. They've been absolutely destroying teams and really looking strong. Really, that one win that they need is enough to make top 4. If they can make it 3-0, they're pretty much done. No matter how the last 2 games go, tomorrow and Thursday, they should be okay. But it really is, I think, for the 3rd to 6th place, a real tie-up on who's going to make it. Like, Spain have a much easier week this week. Germany struggling, I think, but they seem to be really invested and want to push through it. But for the UK and Italy, I think, are a dark horse to actually do a little bit of damage here. They had one loss, but it was against Turkey. And it was a fairly competitive loss too, 13-8 on Ascent, which is hard enough when you played up against Turkish players on Ascent anyway. So I still think that like Italy could do a lot of damage and start to get things going here overall. But I feel like for UK, I'm a little bit worried that things are going to start to flounder a little bit now that they've got some big games coming up.
Yeah, arguably possible, given that we've watched the first game. They didn't get started on the right foot. A lot of mistakes happening right and left, which, well, of course, have been confirmed during the interview, if you remember. Second game didn't go as easy, of course. Friends were able to showcase their prowess against their opponents. But again, now looking at the rankings, sadly, it's a tournament. We have to see teams continue to the finals, and we have to see teams leave us. But it seems to be quite the critical and perilous situation for Germany, who started off the wrong foot for real. I mean, out of the 2 games they played, they lost 2 against, of course, Team UK and their opponents right after that. So I think it was Team Italy, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, 13-7 on Lotus, yeah.
Exactly. So now, as we look at the bracket shaping up, as we look at the rankings, do you believe, and I'm asking you just to confirm my inner feeling in here, that Italy could bring the surprise against Team France? Do you believe that Italy could bring danger to Team France and find a way to, just deconstruct all this meticulous planning of Team France and actually, give them a blow where it hurts the most? And with the map.
I think the most rounds that France have lost to the best of 1 has been 5. So I do think, to an extent, like Italy can be able to get more. Like, I think that they did look decent. We spoke to them a little bit in their post-match interview as well, when they beat Germany, that they are sort of just taking something like Bippo's IGL and being able to sort of pull stuff around, obviously taking stuff from the Desire roster. They've got the majority of their core there. So really, for me, it's like they're actively working on stuff. Like, they're bringing in some really interesting ideas to try and counter who they're playing up against. It really is just kind of confidence in who they go up against those fights. So I think it's going to be a real big challenge for Italy to be really competing against France, who have looked in complete form so far. But it wouldn't surprise me if Italy put up more of a fight than the other teams have against Team France, that's for sure. Maybe if they could shut Lux down, because he has been unstoppable so far, and it's why these kind of tournaments are so good. I think there's one player that's actually in VCT, which is Fatinho, like in the top international leagues level. So seeing players like Lux, seeing Link and Soulcast perform decently on Team UK, it's a good showing of the talent that we can see. And I mean, when it comes to Team Turkey especially, a lot of recognizable talent, both in Game Changers and in the VCLs.
Yeah, clearly. And while Italy did steal the show for the couple of minutes that passed, of course, I think that it's the most interesting game for tonight. It doesn't reduce the value of this first game. So Team Turkey versus Germany. Of course, this lineup has been pretty much impressive throughout their run so far to victories. Nothing to be noted aside from the adversity that they found on Ascent versus Team Italy. In the meantime, Germany in here looking to snatch that last ticket that would take them towards the final one victory, of course, to get started. We've seen a lot of things coming up from Musashi on the first day. He kind of went offline on their second game. Leo as well displayed a huge impact with his race during his game, but sadly that wasn't enough to bring the victory back home. So looking at this equation, I do think that the maps will be of extreme importance. Which map will be played? No prediction here to avoid any sort of course, caster curse. Where do you see this going?
We'll see this sort of play out in the end. I think with best of ones, it's
Lotus.
really going to be these common ones like Ascent, Split, maybe Haven, Lotus, top 4 maps. We did see a Bind, but see the Breeze and especially a Sunset at the best of one, not really too likely. This was a great map for Turkey. They battered Team Spain 13-2, but it wasn't just the Izzy show like it was on Ascent in their first game. Like, they were a little bit more team orientated. Glow was the MVP on the Viper 16-9, but Schnella from the Game Changers team Ascend's Game Changers team has been so strong on this roster. They have Smurfette as their 6th player as well, who is a great player to have as a substitute if they want to use it. But really, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, this Turkish team from top to bottom, pound for pound, is incredibly strong. They've shown it on Lotus already, so it's a good chance for Germany to try and do a little bit better than they did against Italy.
Yeah, and it's quite insane when you look at your team, right? And you're about to select your roster, but, you know, you've got 6 players, 7 players, and all of them are, let's say it as it is, world class or almost world class. So it kind of gives you that opportunity, that flexibility to, you know, change players depending on the role, the agents, the maps, depending on the comfort. And as we heard during the first interview, Team Turkey is comprised of players who know each other because of the tight relationship that the players of the Turkish region hold with each other. So all in all, interesting lineup, interesting, of course, selection of map is going to be Lotus again. And you know, it feels to me that Lotus has become the calling so far for the best of 1 maps. We truly witnessed Ascent, definitely. We watched Ascent being picked by multiple teams for multiple occasions. We're actually worried that Ascent would be the trademark of the tournament, the symbol of the tournament. But again, Lotus is slowly stealing the show and taking more prominence and importance into this map. What do you think of this, Ryan? Is there a specific reason they would go for it?
I think it's just becoming that map that everybody's capable of playing. You have a couple of options that you can go with, like comp-wise. You could go double initiate if you really want to, but the go-to is kind of like the Fnatic comp of double controller plus a fade. With my time with like working in Game Changers, it was quite surprising. Like you said, a lot of teams love to play Ascent, but it wasn't the most picked. It was the least banned. But everybody can play Ascent, so it's kind of like off on its own. Haven's a popular map overall, but Lotus is that one that like you really is a like litmus test of how good these teams are, especially as pickup groups. It's a good way to test it, and it's been good so well for Turkey. Why wouldn't they want to continue that form? Germany need to do better, though, I'd say.
Definitely. Speaking of tests, it's time to test the mettle of Team Turkey and Team Germany. And so I will be leaving you with the agent selection in the hands of Haza and Petro.
Petro? Yeah, okay, that's my new name, everybody. Yeah, this is going to be a brilliant one. There are 3 reasons why I'm particularly excited for this match, Turkey versus Germany, and specifically Turkey. They're on their way to get a 3-0. They put Smurfette into that into the roster again, and obviously there is a chance that we'll be seeing some interesting compositions here. Okay, let's have a look at this. Haz, I'm going to let you take it away. Tell us what you're thinking. I can already see Smurfette playing Chamber, and I'm getting excited.
Yeah, this is pretty much the same comp that they ran last time on Lotus. Of course, it was Schnell on the Chamber, stepping in after having previously played the Jet. But I'm excited to see what Smurfette can offer here. It's her debut in the competition, of course. Turkey's 3rd game, and one which, if they win, would seal that position in the live stage. I think it's fair to say, having won the majority of their games. And look, with her going LFT this week as well, definitely trying to make some waves, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're seeing Turkey also switch up stereotypes. Normally you'd consider this country to be generally known for their Ascent, right? Whether that's the Game Changer scene, whether that's the Tier 2 scene, whether there's the performances of BBL on foot in VCT, EMEA. But now they've been favoring Lotus, and I'm not really surprised. The results have been absolutely spectacular from them. So, from Germany, we haven't seen the best. It's the complete opposite from Turkey. They haven't won a single match. Why do you think there's a potential for things to change this time around?
I think coming into this tournament, I had Germany sort of like my top 3 teams anyway. I hadn't read as much into the firepower that I think we've ended up seeing come out from a team like France, for example, and how much work Lux9 has been doing to put his name on the map after having a good couple of splits in France, I have to say. You know, he was top 2 for ACS in both of those, and his only opponent really that was putting up similar numbers was Takas. But to go back to the conversation for Germany themselves here, the potential is there. It just feels like at times they're playing too much through their individuals, and there isn't that cohesive nature that we really expected from them. You have a player like Benny coming from CGN, you know, an Ascension playoff IGL of that sort of quality level, but just not quite, that things not quite falling into place. And to be honest, I'm just as confused as you. I'm trying to work out what exactly is going wrong, but nothing is adding up.
Nothing is adding up, but hopefully by the end of this matchup, things will make sense. Germany, a lot has been expected from them. Let's see if they can deliver. One of two things will happen. They'll either bounce back and say, okay, this whole first week was them sandbagging, and it's time to start shooting shots and win some games, or they'll crumble under pressure and go 0-3. Be the first team to be at the bottom of the standings here at Spike Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Germany versus Turkey here on Lotus.
It certainly is. Germany, full focus on the present. The next two games upcoming, of course, Spain and France. It doesn't get too much easier in that regard. There are a lot of fights going on in mid, Pavlos, and it's a quick pinstripe kill feed that suddenly leaves us in a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, it's actually a 2v3, and Musashi's going on a bit of a flank here. Thankfully for Turkey, they've got full A site control, so they'll be simply moving their way into that. So Germany have got to be doing some pretty good work on their pistols, on their classic specifically, to see if they can scramble out a first round win.
It's still a pretty reserved post plant that we're going to end up getting here from Turkey. All of the space taken by Glove meant that they could scale into the site a lot easier, but the spike is planted on the opposite side of the wooden box, and there are 3 players cooped up in tree. Smurfette, the first point of contact with the Headhunter, looking to dish out some damage. It won't be a one-shot to the body, but can certainly inflict a lot more pain. In Germany, they've cleared a lot, but not tree just yet.
Hopefully Little Bob's plush on top of a monitor gives a luck here. But unfortunately, that luck will not be prevailing this time around. A quick clean-up there from Glove to give Turkey the first round on the board.
Yeah, nice little bounce of the snake bite from the corner as well to ensure that the spike was well covered, and it ends up picking an additional kill there for Glove to put them 2-0 at the top of the scoreboard. Coming out of the pistol round, Turkey looking decent. It's a nice idea from Germany to fight through the middle of the map. You know, if there isn't anyone facing, or if there is, it's usually a fight where you're going to have an advantage, and if not, you've got good proactive information that the rest of your extremities can really take up. But kicking things off, it's just going to be a couple sheriffs, Valorante and Leoson, 2 of the sharpest aimers that the Germans have, seeing what they can find.
Yeah, Leoson actually has gone quite far up here. Mudge will be reading it quite quickly. Actually doubles up, so makes quite fanciful work of it. Still, Germany forced to work their magic to even have a say in this particular round, but as expected, not much is happening. I'm actually surprised. Well, not that surprised. I think we were surprised at the start of the tournament by how seriously Turkey is taking this, in contrast to a lot of these other teams. They really want to win this. They really want to show superiority. And I think it's one of these countries where you'll see national pride take full front in Valorant in general, right? Turkey, there are a few fans that can get as excited as the Turkish fans.
100%. I would say I have Turkish Valorant fans and K-pop fans probably in the same kind of sphere in terms of how much you can get invested in something. Or Turkish fans generally, I think, across the board, whether it's any form of sport. So it's nice to see this international set of matchups that we're getting through Spike Nations. And yeah, like you put it, they've been one of the cleanest teams so far. They've only dropped 2 more rounds than France with a positive 16-round differential. So comfy for them so far would be the best way to put it. But they are a team that likes to go on the offensive rather than sitting back and waiting for things to come to them. And well, Germany have started to do some of that. They have some proactive A control, and actually they're going to be testing Mound while Turkey try and nestle themselves in the middle of the map.
Rather than aggressive, I'd describe Turkey as explosive, because this round in particular has been very slow in pace. This wraparound might have time to come to fruition. That snakebite has to delay them. But of course, with a double blast pack, there's an opportunity for perseverance into the B site. Ipa holding the back line and getting both kills? No way it should be that easy. Smurfette smurfing at the front of the lines as well. Everything falling into place just like Turkey would have liked. And Valorante, a lone horse, sidestepping Paranoia. That's a double. Oh, more to the plate. Another double remaining with 8 bullets. Spike planted. Having to deal with that as well is not an easy task, especially with Mudge covering the back line. He's patient, though. And Valorante pushing, and that's another headshot. Wow. This could be the ace clutch. 6 bullets. Guiding light allows Mudge to cross, but it's only a fake. Well, Valorante decides to stick. Instead, only to half. No, not even that. I think he's fluked it. Or does he have time? Valorante! A 1v5 clutch! And time to get the defuse on. And what a way to put Germany on the board.
There's absolutely no way Valorant hits that 1v5, but if there was anyone in the server to do it, it certainly would be him. A player who, as I said before, has had a bit of a quiet year so far, newly picked up into the Focus roster, seen by many to be the usurper to the headshot throne and the crown which your boy Lewis currently holds. But if that isn't any evidence, I don't know what is. Absolutely ridiculous. Just when we thought that Germany perhaps were relying on their individuals or not getting the most out of them and Turkey were winning in that department, Valorant says, how about this?
How about this indeed? It was a 1v5 to begin with. I don't think anybody else from the team was alive when Valorant started fragging. I could be wrong in that statement.
No, there were. It was
on.
genuinely like the cleanest 1v5 that you could ask for. But on the Turkish end of things, you've got to be thinking, like, how do you let that kind of an advantage slip away, especially when you have two players who are sort of hiding from those initial duels. A lot more aggressive at the start of this one. Germany, again, just limit testing, but they get caught pants down, and it's a 4v2.
Yeah, the patience gains for Turkey pays off there as Germany kind of peak. And I felt like Valorant that one might have overheated a little bit and has finally been punished for the previous round. But still, knowing that a 1v5 is possible, not going to be counting this one out either. It's Benny and Leoson on the case. Smoke subsides. Benny, no, we're checking it. That could be a double, but no. Ipot, fully flashed, still gets a kill. Now it's Leoson, Guardian in hand. 3 different positions. And this time Turkey not going to take any chances. A guiding light are waiting for Mudge, but no, Leoson connects it. No way, not another. Ipot says enough funny business, closes the gap with the classic and ends up with the kill and the round for Turkey.
Oh, man. There are a couple of timings into that retake there where you really thought we would be seeing the impossible for 2 rounds in a row. Benny sort of manages to beat in between the lines, just sat behind Smurfette and nearly gets the jump on Epot. And then there at the end as well, you saw just in front of the smoke a possibility that Leoson could get something done, but not to be the case. Turkey a little more watertight than they were last time. And this puts Germany back on another low investment round. Just 4 sheriffs, but a ghost and full utility for Benny here to try and inspire something.
I really like how Turkey are approaching this game. They know Germany like to go for this extremity control, and it's the way of the game for the specific composition that they have in hand. Knowing this and testing the limits of these extremities, and not allowing Germany to go full aggressive like they did that last round. Even though Ipot was checking it and ended up with a double by the end, it's still a airiness of the play and Germany's game plan still. Push coming through from Izzy, successful in finding the kill with no repercussions. And Turkey seem to be ending up with quite the advantage. 3 kills to none. And with a full A site control and the spike planted, I don't really see a way Germany can find a way in this time around.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, Pavlos. We'll just have to keep our wits about us. Leoson's already got to work, but Izzy can quickly condemn them to an early grave, and Lil Bob walks out onto a theatre performance, and it's an all-Turkish standing ovation, which will find them a 4th here quite comfortably in the end.
Yep, there you have it. Ultimate starting to appear as well. Viper's Pit, Valorant, showstopper for Leoson, and the same showstopper for Izzy as well. So an opportunity to see something more, something a little bit more spicy.
Yeah, you say that, but at the same time, it looks like Germany have gone back to the same kind of default round that they had. Only difference is Alarante's now stacking up with Musashi, bringing the idea from what they had in the previous round on the A site hold to C. Gives it a new look, but will it be galvanized? There's plenty of utility that Turkey have to try and make their way through, so the cautious approach will certainly fare them well in this instance.
Oh, okay.
You'd think so.
Oh,
never mind.
Okay. All right, they still make it work, though. It somehow still works. I guess the showstopper bought enough space, and the rest could just follow through. I wonder if Benny's going to be patient here or wants to go for the action himself. No. A kill awaits him, but also death. And Leoson's positions can be fully telegraphed at this point. So, you know, all of the Turkish team will be looking in his direction. And I don't think they'll be making the same mistake as round 2 too many times. But give him a try. That's all he'll be getting. And there you go. Turkey, 5 on the board, 1 still for Germany.
Yeah, a bit ambitious from Leoson at the end there with the blast pack, but you can't exactly say that we didn't see the contrary from Izzy. It's like, you know, bringing a crowbar to try and open a jam jar, you know, with the showstopper flying in there. But even then, Germany, the U2 combo that I was speaking about, did a good job at slowing things down. But after losing out on that first engagement, they tried to plant their feet, be stalwart in the site. They just can't hold on to it. Turkey get all the kills they needed, and then some. I think it was 3 entry picks that they had on that quick rotation. And once again, Germany going to be hitting the nasty end of this economy cycle. It's the one hero rifle from VALORANT and the only player fit to don the cape at this point in time.
Do you reckon the law for Raze is that she was a goated paintball player, decided to throw paintball paint at all of her problems?
Wanted something a little more deadly, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely won't be down as the next presenter for Art Attack, that's for sure. But here we go. It's, again, Germany trying to bring problems to Turkey, shoehorn them into an execute. It's worked pretty well. They look to be forcing the A issue, but Leoson has found the first.
Yeah, and they know there's a fast push coming in through stairs, but instead it's been double backed into this B site. Sashi falls out, so Turkey an opportunity to gain access to this site in its entirety. Seeker's trying to stop it all from happening. Spike goes down, but kills falling into the Germans' favor. Still, Mudge tries to keep things comfortable for them, but Masashi's got the sideline covered. 2 Sheriff kills for him by the end of it, and that's Germany on the board for a second time.
If there's one thing that Germany are good at producing in Valorant, it is a safe pair of hands. Another anchor player, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Masashi. That gets it done there. Nicely done, coming in rotation. I thought that maybe there'd been a slight oversight by the German defense there, leaving it open through Hobbit after causing an over-rotation to A. I think it's fair to call it that, just because of how many players were there. The presence enough was what was sufficient to dissuade Turkey from actually pulling the pin on that play. But here we have it, into the first real gun round, it feels like, between these 2 teams. And Masashi has brought an Odin to
I know why you
fight.
call it the real gunfight.
Yeah.
Odin. Will they come into play, though? Oh, that is spicy from the German side. 2 kills out of nowhere. Not too bad. And Turkey have left with their heads scratched slightly with a few bullets here and there.
Yeah, it's great utility usage on the German side,
Really
and VALORANT will continue to follow it up. You know, the snake bites and paint shells coming in did so much damage, not to mention, of course, the raw fragging power of Leoson and VALORANT. And this is something which the Italian team did to great effect when they were playing on Lotus. We saw it, you know, the other day. It's now the most played map in the tournament, clocking in at 3 times. And yeah, just textbook util usage and team play, really. Something I think we've been lacking from this German team so far.
Yeah, denying the setup from Turkey is the way to go for them right now, and it's worked out. Usually Turkey have been a little bit more wary of it, though, and but I guess, yeah, good combo on the utility there to catch the Turkish team off guard. This time around, Tour de Force enabled by Smurfette, but the sniper we see into effect straight away is Leoson's. The first blood for Germany this round.
Yeah, it's nice to see Leoson having a good game. Had been struggling previously, but shown a couple of moments of brilliance in that match we had last week against Italy. He's been playing on Ovation most recently in the off-season. Dak have a million events, it seems, so not running short on clips from him. But here comes the push, and it's VALORANT trying to steal the show again. Ambitious TP, I thought, but it is a fake after all. Turkey have pumped the brakes. They need to reconsider.
Yeah, especially when whenever you peek, you get shot. You get your head shot off. Not all that easy.
That is a crazy one.
They're just trolling right now. That's how I can explain it. Unless they're just sandbagging for Mudge to just get a triple, that'd be quite an exciting one.
Sandbagging has to be my favorite word. We've heard it mentioned a couple of times, but Muj might want to pull those counterweights off here. Not going to happen. VALORANT finds his 3rd. That pushes Germany up to a 4th. The gap is closing, Pavlos. We had this one maybe as a bit of a write-off in the back of our minds, but it is becoming swiftly pretty competitive.
And I'm glad that is the case, right? Because Germany so far losing 2 matches, although they were fairly close, especially one against Team GB. It was quite the explosive one, right? 13-11 by the end of it. The one against Italy, though, bit more one-sided and the more surprising result out of the two. So that got us thinking Germany's given up, perhaps. But no, seems like they've got more fight in them, and the fact that they're playing against Turkey, against a team that already has 2 victories to no losses, is a good sign for them to come and an opportunity for them to end off this final week of the international stage of Spike Nations with victories and secure the top spots for playoffs is what we're looking for.
Yeah, we'd certainly be penciling in the Turkish team for the live stage, and maybe Germany would have been with them coming into this tournament. But like you say, given 5 days to try and shift those goalposts a little bit, success perhaps can be found. A nice shot from Izzy to kick things off, but VALORANT is still alive and orbiting this smoke, waiting for his timing to reach the site, but the Viper's pit dropped is going to make this a whole lot more difficult.
Oh, I was about to say VALORANT's got a Viper's pit of his own, but he falls quite shortly after. You threw the mic there, so no opportunity for that to come into play. So we're still looking at a 3v5 Germany. If Masashi finds a pot shot here, I'd be impressed, but no. No such craze is commencing. Benny is considering it. If someone peeks him, gets another kill, there'd be a chance. But yeah, Leosin has distanced himself as much as possible to save that operator. The round is in the bag for Turkey. 6 to be secured with that spike explosion.
Ooh.
And a 2-round lead to be created.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this is quite an awkward position for Leosin. Didn't want to get too close to the site, wondering what that radius was going to look like. But Turkey won't be able to remove the operator from the equation, and Germany must add the rest of the parts to see what they can create. Timeout coming through, and I'm expecting it to be Team Germany. It is. For a moment, part of me's thinking, with Guys' track record and how he's been so happy to just take a moment to pause and reflect, which I think is one of the strong qualities that this Turkish team has, their organization. What exactly they'd be going over. But yeah, it's a standard B execute that we get on the previous round. Like you say, Viper's Pit not coming back in counter, and then shutting out Hobbit like that. Musashi could have been hoping for something with the Odin, but you are wishing on a star.
You really are. Just interested to see what Germany can come up with. Not many rounds left in the half after all. So I have to come in guns blazing. All right, if you were the coach of Team Germany, what would you be expecting from the team right now? Are you already happy with the rounds they've gained on this half, or do you expect them to hit stronger on that attack?
I mean, defender side Lotus, Germany currently on 4 rounds. You have 2 left to play for. If you can get 1 more here, I think you're going to be pretty happy with how this half has turned out, especially considering the fact that Turkey were up at a scoreline of 5-1 coming into this game. You know, first 6 rounds played, and here we are, 2 away from your opponent. It is just about hitting that baseline right now. I think it's a very fair score. Turkey will feel hard done by if they don't net an advantage or at least an 8th round. But that is just how it's going to work. Early paranoia coming out from Lil Bob. Germany trying to sell a lot of presence towards A, but it's a deep-lying Killjoy setup and a stack on B, which will be greeting Turkey if they choose to execute here.
Eliasson, an opportunity presented, and he'll take it any day of the week. Thank you for the free gift. Germany on top in numbers. Turkey still expected to initiate an attack here on this B site. A lot thrown at this. Showstopper yet to be used. There goes Lil Bob in the ground, and so does Benny. And all of a sudden, Turkey might have turned the table around. VALORANT in the smoke. He was shot through it last time around, and as soon as it deteriorates, he will be able to take down Izzy. So now, equal standing, 3 versus 3. A bit of a shakedown may commence if Turkey managed to get Ipot in position on that back line in time. Might not even come down to it, given that Smurfette and Mudge have delivered. So Eliasson alone. I don't think Eliasson will expect Ipot from that angle. No, not at all. And for that reason, Turkey win a 7th round.
Oh, man, that's actually so sad to watch from the German perspective. I think I finally know what it's like to be Zesht. I've lived it through his eyes, because the macro for Germany there was really good. You set up this early util on A, you've got your Killjoy set up deep, Leoson's on the other extremity, he finds the first pick, and you have 3 players anticipating this B hit, which they've struggled with. Then Turkey just take the ones and win the fights. There's no other way to put it. It's an FPS game. Sometimes you get shot in the face, and it just seems like the actual B defense itself was the one oversight that Germany weren't prepared for.
I expected you to start shouting and getting on a rampage by saying it's an FPS game.
We'll save that one for later. Look, if Team
For
UK
another time.
are struggling against the winless Spanish team, it might be Ryan on the desk instead. But who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? Seekers allow Turkey to cross over to the C site. This time around, Germany not taking any of the fights. They want a full 5-person retake, but Sashi dies. Thankfully for them, retaliation from Lil Bob. Benny delivers as well. So Germany with the chance here. Lil Bob doing really good work on the Turkey players, trying to get out of the site and hold from Sands, but no opportunity is given to them to do that. Germany very nicely and very swiftly take over the site right after the take.
Yeah, halftime score 5-7 between the 0-2 team and the 2-0 team in the competition. So it must be said, Germany doing a brilliant job to restabilize and get back into this second half. Of course, it'll all kick back off with the pistol round. And if you find it here, that's Turkey's buffer gone, and suddenly you're playing from an advantageous position. We'll have to wait and see what exactly happens. This could still just be a tale of two halves and Turkey run away with it. But as I say, Germany have given all their good graces to get back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the score they've been looking for after being down so much at the start of this game. Let's have a look at what this attack for Germany will look like. But for Turkey, it seems like no reactivity for them, instantly taking the proactive role by placing 3 players into B. Spotting out movement outside of C long will cause a rotation. Germany going for a bit of a flank. Might be greeting Izzy and Muj on this mid side. Muj hasn't been spotted, but with that guiding light, he'll force himself out of there. Might be in harm's way, but still gets one before he's given the rest an opportunity to shut him down. Was only low, so a bullet to the body did the job. Now we're still looking at a 3 versus 4. Turkey trailing. Glove. Nice little shot onto Valorant, but is stuck again in a similar position where Mudge was a few seconds ago and has to be traded. Therefore, the A site is completely open and Germany are heading directly towards it.
This round feels exactly like the pistol we saw before, but entirely different at the same time. It's like comparing a bagel and a donut. They're so similar, but they're not the same thing. Like, more mid-fights being taken. Smurfette with a lick of damage to kick things off. And another 2 versus 3 with a tree post plant. This one looks like it has a bit more life to it, though, for the defenders this time around. Smurfette gets the first shot in, and Hip-Hop might just be sticking this. The spike is already halved, and that is where it'll stop just for now. Benny trying to take a duel on 11 HP, but he will drop. Second tap, prerogative for Leoson. Fights needing to be taken, but also an objective to be played. Both ends worked brilliantly by the German player. Hip-Hop might just see this out. I don't think they will. Oh, no, Leoson. That time the post plant comes back to bite them as Turkey will get an 8th.
Hey, pros don't fake. And Hip-Hop didn't. Well, the 3rd time. That is. Sticks it in the end and seals the deal. But what a back and forth this round was. Through the extravaganza and palaver we saw at the middle stage, then later on onto the site, the back and forth inside of smokes, try and weave their way in and out of battle from both sides. But Hip-Hop is able to secure it. Now securing 13 kills to the tally and finding his way to the top of the charts on his side. VALORANT, on the other hand, is doing quite well for himself. 17 kills, not too bad, but the rest of the team needs to catch up to allow Germany to get even closer. Lovely shot by Smurfette. But yeah, that is just going to allow Turkey to kind of take over the game.
Yeah, it's a nice shot from Smurfette there as well. A couple of armored players on the Germany side means that the headshot lands pretty sweetly. So another similar sort of default round. You've got players towards both sides of the map. They've completely neglected B. But what is the game plan here? Perhaps it is a finish in the middle by converging on both ends. Good kill from Valorant unlocks the baby door. But instead, they're double backing towards A. That trademark hasn't been hit on B. So Smurfette actually recollects it and puts herself in position instead.
Oh, come on. Come on, Smurfette. That is ridiculous. Punished by Valorant eventually, but damage potentially has already been done.
Spike planted.
The read from Turkey has been quite good. on Germany's play. VALORANT again turning it all around. 3 kills to his name. Now it's Ipot to do it all by himself. They know where he is, but with a superior weapon, with a rifle in his arms, he'll be shooting his shots against his 2 opponents and securing the round for Turkey.
And another Ipot clutch. It all started off with this skill from Smurfette, and again, I like the reads and the plays that Germany are making. You know, when they take that B control and the trademark doesn't get hit, Turkey have a rough idea of where the players are. But then in the 1v2 at the end, it felt like they almost snatched at it. Ipot giving away so many footsteps, bounding around inside his own dark cover. And then in the end, taken down, recovers 1 Vandal. It's still going to be, it's not exactly a sight for sore eyes when you look at what guns they have here, Turkey. But if that previous from Germany's anything to go by, you can get a whole lot done with a whole lot less.
I'm just still very satisfied with that first kill from Smurfette. If there's any kill that is, well, I don't think there is any other kill that is more satisfying than that headshot with a Marshall. Maybe with the utility, that would get close. Glove, mid-sight. Has to draw back, has to respect the push. Germany sees control. Bernie finding a kill through the smoke. Just like that, Turkey forced for a retake.
Well, Ipot playing it nicely, sat inside the smoke while there was a snake bite at his feet. A little overlooked, but still taken down. Benny finds it. Smurfette picks up where she left off. Headhunter, Marshall, as long as there's an ADS, she's going to be hitting the headshot. Back to a 3 versus 3. Turkey were at a weapon disadvantage, but they've managed to scalp a few of those guns from the German players, and now it's really on in this situation. But just as soon as you think there's some life to the round, Benny will quickly devour it all. Izzy playing for exits at this point in time as that spike timer is running low.
Yeah, Germany definitely thanking Benny for that one. But yeah, I think the first crucial kills were the ones that they managed to get up against those smokes near Fountain. I think without them, Germany would be absolutely be in trouble with a quick collapse from Turkey that could have caught them off guard. So I think they must be thanking each other for that as they secure a 6th round and have kept their economy flowing with most of their players alive as well. On the other hand, Turkey, if they do end up dropping the next one, economy will start to look a little bit rough. And I think actually looking at the entire scene of this match, I think that goes for both of the teams.
Yeah, things hanging pretty precariously in the balance as things stand, Pavlos. And again, it doesn't look like this Turkish defense has really got too much of an idea of what it is that Germany are doing, because once more, they stack up towards opposite ends of the map. B left vacant once more. And they find the opening pick onto Smurfette's tour de force. Blast pack coming through. Glove picks one out the sky. Leosin finds his wings clipped, and they're not done yet. Glove carrying on. It's rampant. 3 heads. Skulls stacked on top of one another on the C site, and while Musashi is trying to creep back in through, the position's already duly noted, and the spike sits at the Turkish player's feet.
And Glove is still alive. Finally, Benny takes him down. Enough of that. But we're down to a 2v2. All that work for nothing, Glove asks? Not all over, though. Germany heading towards the other side of the map, knowing of the position of the 2 Turkish defenders, and have to go for the plant here on this B site.
For a moment, I'm slightly surprised that they don't take it one step further and move towards A. Brilliant positioning from Musashi has enabled this 2 versus 2 in post, but still, Germany should have the advantage from this kind of position. Looking at utility, there's not very much left. It's a regrowth on either sky, and by the time you're looking to heal off a wound, you're putting a plaster on a broken leg.
Really difficult position for Benny to play here. Wary of his position. Musashi is down. Benny all by himself. Yeah, this is not looking great. Seekers, guiding light. But Benny flicks. Guiding light over. Blinded. But Izzy turns around in time. Beautifully done, Turkey. In these clutches seem to be the superior ones. Apart from that very early victory by VALORANT, but still Turkey get to double digits very quickly.
The big looming asterisk that comes in the form of VALORANT. But even then, it's another round where Germany should realistically be seeing that out. As I said, not much utility, plenty of angles to be thinking about. And then in my eyes, it's a mistake from Benny with that final flash because of where the spike is planted. The player is in such close proximity. Izzy's never going to get caught by that flash, so you just give away your position. You have to reset on the weapon as well to re-equip it, so it doesn't pan out, and that's double digits.
And as alluded to earlier, the economy of Germany isn't looking quite great. It's a bit of a shaky buy that they've got going for them right now. Smurfette about to be the next player in contention. Can play quite aggressive angle to the chamber, even though after the nerf, you forget how valuable it is to be in off positions and get unchallenged by it.
It feels like the one part of the kit that everyone was expecting to get nerfed is the draw time on the Headhunter from any other gun. But still, you can just pull it out your pocket, and it is a pocket rocket, right? A headshot
really
machine. But yeah, the biggest thing here for me, and like you already said, if Germany lose, you're playing for OT at this point.
Guiding Light not spotting out anyone from Germany. I think that's very crucial, but they do reveal their position by throwing out a Trailblazer. So rotation's already coming in from Turkey, but taking down one of the defenders is definitely going to make matters easier for the German side. Rotation available for Lil Bob, but there's also from the shadows that can enable a back position for them. Perhaps a flank, perhaps an obfuscation or a fake, but still, Germany have taken full site control. Smurfette closing up, Bots not showing a position, which allows Smurfette to move in for a double. Spray down, no more Viper Spears, it takes down VALORANT, and Ipot is there on the case yet again. It all collapses. Courtesy of Smurfette and Lil Bob alone with a Sheriff all the way behind, trying to play catch-up. Izzy's got it all telegraphed, and that is going to be a round for Turkey, all off of the back of Smurfette.
Yeah, it feels like the nail in the coffin, that round. Really unfortunate. Lil Bob from where... So, I mean, just look at this replay again. Smurfette, an absolute ravage inside the site, just takes down 3 players. And the fact that the Viper's Pit is sort of backed up there as well, it feels like another calamitous affair for the German team, which is, again, unfortunate to say the least. Lil Bob trying to play the flank, has the From the Shadows to enable that kind of late positioning. Maybe even could have called for a rotate with the amount of time that was left, but doesn't come through. And again, on pistols, trying to deny a map point here.
Not fun, if I was in Germany's position. Each match they play gets a little bit worse, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of Spain, but Spain is on a different level in regards to things getting worse and worse. We'll be getting into that later, everybody. Maybe there's a redemption arc for Spain somewhere. We're all looking for it.
Oh my god.
And so is Germany. Turkey is just tapping heads right now. Life couldn't be simpler. Lil Bob, just like the previous round, final player standing. And that's a round for Turkey. 12 to their name, 1 round away from getting their 3rd win on the board and basically securing the life stage for Spike Nations.
Yeah, and again, this just feels to have been a really quick game and one which Turkey have dictated the pace in, but at the same time, you can't help but feel there have been quite a few unforced errors on the Germany side where they put themselves in brilliant positions. That round is demonstrative more than anything else of the quality that Smurfette brings to this team and the depth then of the Turkey roster when you consider Schnell's absence. Caught in a position where you think she'd be off guard from the Sheriff of Musashi, but like she's walking in the living room, pulls out the fly swat and keeps that thing on her, gets him gone. I just don't know how she does it, really.
Well put, well put. The Germany turning their attention towards the right-hand side of the map. Viper's Pit denying B entrance opportunity, but Germany don't really care about that right now. Putting their hands deep in their pockets to try and find resources to buy their guns with. Last-ditch effort for them to find their way into winning ways. Leoson delivers, but it's glove to be punishing 2 times as well. Musashi drops fight quickly, and it all crumbles under pressure at the final mark in a matter of seconds. Turkey, 13-6, is the way they'll be closing a match against Germany.
I think that last round as well is especially poetic of how Germany's game overall ended up panning out. They're starting to find the picks towards the site and crack the A nut open. and then they drop the spike on the other side of the door, and oh, Gloves on the scene and has got a triple again. Like, what can you do? I really don't know. This is two teams that have fantastic individuals, but in terms of team play, I think Turkey are just that much more well-oiled, and yeah, they were hitting some crazy shots today as well.
Yeah, they're all on the same page, and I think it's just like we expected in regards to Turkey. It all being sort of a very friendly scene in between each other, right? All of the players, all of the players at that level sort of play with each other. They're friends, they know each other. So getting into a server and trying to pop off together, that doesn't seem too difficult, and they're doing it quite well. And against teams you wouldn't really expect for them to have such an easy time. But there you go. There you have it. 13-6 was the final score against Germany.
Yep.
And yes, it was worse than the score against Italy for Germany, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't really know how that's happened, but even looking in the sort of like the tactical pause, now that we can see all of the player camps together, it didn't look like there was the same kind of energy in the German camp as what we even had in like the Italian camp, for example, when they were playing Germany the other day, when they were losing rounds and sort of down in a string of things. We saw that they were able to sort of almost turn it around Germany, but again, they've fallen flat. We're going to pass it back to the analyst desk to give you the full breakdown of the game we've just seen.
Thank you, Haza, and of course, thank you, Pavlos. So again, excuses. It's just that I went full Greek, right? I would have Pavlos in my mind. Moi, don't mess it up, but I still messed it up because I thought of Petros, which is a Greek name, so that's the current influence. We're sorry about that. I'll stick with X to make sure that everything is okay. And speaking of this game that we just witnessed, Ryan, thinking about the scoreline, thinking about, the script that we had to follow throughout this game, it seemed to me that it would be an extremely close game, given how the two teams played on the first half, but then somehow Germany just faded away on the second half. Where could we put our finger as, the issue here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one, really, because I think Germany did well to bring that first half back a little bit. They were 5-1 down and managed to make it 5-7 for them towards the end. So, especially playing on the defense, it was a rough side for them when they were up against Italy. I think they were 3-9 down at the half the last time they defended. And it requires a lot of coordination, especially when you're like a sort of unpracticed team, to be able to get everybody in the right positions, to get people rotating at the right time, to be aggressive at the right time. I thought Germany did well to look a lot stronger than they did against Italy. But I think going into the second half, a lot of 1v1 clutches for both sides, but Turkey was just winning all of them. Epot and Glow were just having really strong moments as support players. And also Smurfette, who's come into this team for her debut, it was usually Schnella that was in that spot, was always at least good for one, and towards the end she was really ramping up. You saw like VALORANT get like 20 kills plus in the end. He was top fragging in the server, but that still wasn't enough. And I think there was like maybe 4 kills between the top of Turkey and the bottom. It was just a solid team performance as per usual from them.
Yeah, exactly. A name that I wanted to speak of was VALORANT. I think that the defeat in here overshadowed his feats throughout the game. He was able to deliver on multiple occasions for his team, bringing back, sheriff rounds, bringing back rounds where they didn't have the economy to sustain like a full defense or a full offense for his team. But then again, you also mentioned Smurfette. So debut game, Smurfette comes in and just delivers in the purest possible form. And well, to top off the icing of the cake, pushes, ignores the bot, goes inside of a smoke, gets a first kill, a second kill, a third kill, and opens the site for her team. Now, thinking about it, doesn't it feel like that Turkey really had a lifeline with rounds like this, where one player would pull off what we could almost call a miracle, and then capitalize on that action to bring back victory?
Yeah, I mean, from knowing like Smurfette from Game Changers, she was the RGL as well for FUT's Game Changers team. She was super aggressive. Everything she did was like hyper aggressive. But I feel on this team, especially because she's on that chamber on the Sentinel, so she can't go as ham, I suppose. She's like at least reining it in a little bit more. And it was just a selected moments of aggression where she pushes into the Viper's pit, gets free. And Germany just weren't expecting her to take those kind of risks. When you're Turkey, everything was working for them. Why wouldn't you try and go for audacious play? And it worked every single time for them.
Yeah, exactly. So all of that aggressivity that we've seen on the first half, of course, all the questions that we have will be answered by none other by Smurfette, as we have her Smurfette here getting ready for the interview and will be joining us shortly. So, of course, before even looking at that, who do you think would be the MVP of the game, Ryan?
Ooh, I mean,
That's
probably like Glow towards the end. I think, especially going on to the defensive side, he was the MVP against against Spain last time, sorry. Like, he was just stonewalling them at that point. And especially when we got to that defense, any C-site execute that Germany seemed to try there, he was able to at least get one before he was traded, or just hold it to the side completely. So certainly between him and Epop, but maybe Smurfette edges him out towards the end because she was really starting to snowball as we got into more rounds on their defensive side.
I reckon it would be Epop from my end. I'm not certain, but whatever impact he brought to the game for me in terms of numbers and so on would make the MVP, but it's VALORANT, and that is a complete surprise. VALORANT from the German team, which is actually correct, by the way, Ryan, if you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, he was the in-server MVP for sure, but I think his ability was just him trying to hold on, trying to fight. Like, the 1v5 clutch he got in round 3 was absurd, but it still, again, was an anti-bonus, full rifles for Germany up against a bonus for Turkey, and they still had to rely on a miracle to pull it out, but they weren't able to consistently pull out those miracle moments because Turkey was shutting them down so consistently. So yeah, VALORANT is going to be like happy with his own individual performance here, but for Germany, it's 0-3 for them now. It's fair to say for tomorrow and Thursday, they have to win those games. Germany have to win those games to stand a chance for being in top 4 after this group stage is done.
Yeah, we definitely saw all the talent that Team Germany has, and we saw the performance coming up from VALORANT in here, and it is indubitably true that if Team Germany was to able to work around all this potential, they could be coming up with a solution to pull up a win. But speaking of pulling up, we've got Smurfette pulling up in here for an interview, according to production. Hopefully she's ready by now. But if it's not the case, of course, we still have a lot to discuss.
Still in the waiting room.
Right? Okay, the interview is ready. So shall we get to it? And we are. So, hello Smurfette. First of all, congratulations on a very well-earned victory. I'm not sure if I have the audio cue coming from you. So, first question to get started. How does it feel to just bomb the server the way you did on your debut?
Well, first of all, thank you. And I actually had to log in my account last second. I didn't even have skins, by the way. I had 2 skins equipped. I was like, please, I don't want to play Ghost and stuff like that. Then I did some crazy run. It was random. I don't know. It just happened in the moment.
Yeah, I think we got confirmation here that skins do not make you play better. That's for certain.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You had the op at least, I imagine. That was probably the first thing that you went for skin-wise, I imagine.
True.
I did want to ask, with tournaments like this, I think you get some teams take it very seriously by practicing a lot, and some teams being very chill. Have you practiced at all with the team? Was it you meant to be in for today? Because Chanel has been playing before then. Has Turkey been scrimming a lot? Have they really wanted to go ham on this tournament, would you say? Or are you taking it pretty easily and just relaxing and not putting too much effort into practice?
We actually never screamed. Same with
At all?
Chanel. Not at all. We talk about it. We said after if we qualify, we didn't know that we already qualified. We were gonna scream. We didn't practice at all. We were just playing the moment.
That's extremely surprising because, prepping those games with those scrims and everything is usually what would bring about such, coordination, like the coordination we're seeing with Team Turkey. So, coming so far in the tournament, right, after 3 games, 3 victories so far, we, of course, gradually went from difficult with Team Italy to easier so far with a gap in terms of score. Which team from the remaining teams are you most worried about facing Smurfette as a team, or at least in your own opinion?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe France. I don't know. It could be
you've got them
France.
tomorrow.
Could be France. I guess I can say France. Not sure.
What kind of atmosphere is, because if you've not really sort of gone in for practicing, I know you IGL'd for foot, for example, you had some experience there. You also play hella aggressive on foot whilst IGLing, knowing you, what's kind of the atmosphere now? Because you've got Glow, you've got Modge, you've got very sort of established players that have been in the scene for quite a while. There's Izzy and yourself and Schnella. Is the vibe just, let's just keep it straightforward, or is it Izzy, Smurfette, just go kill, just go push, go fight them? How confident?
It's not about me at all. Actually, they're all like great players, and Glow is IGLing at the moment, and he's like awesome IGL. So, and atmosphere is like more chill, and we just like vibing and like playing and having fun. Actually,
You learned a lot, would you say, real quick?
having fun as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations. I think according to my napkin map, you should be in the top 4 at this point, so you can have a really easy game, I think, against France tomorrow. But thank you. Congrats again, and we'll see you tomorrow against France.
Thanks so much. Bye bye.
All right, and that was a pretty much interesting interview, Ryan, with Smurfit. Pardon my French, Ryan in here, and to our dear, of course, viewers. So that wraps up the first game. We still have 2 more to go. How excited are you for the rest of tonight?
Well, we've got one team that's still undefeated up till now. Let's see what France could do against Italy. But before then, I'll throw you to the break. Go for a pee and a poo. We'll see you in a few.
I can't just call you.
Welcome back to all our Spike netizens again for the continuity of tonight's events. I was about to say evening, which wouldn't make sense. Tonight's evening, right? Again, struggles of a non-native speaker. What can we do about it? But if there's one language that we all share, thank you, Ryan. And if there's one language we share, it is the language of Valorant, the language of competitivity, and the language of course, quality games. And speaking of quality games, we're looking at a very, very interesting game, and we have been anticipating this one, and I will quote myself again. In my opinion, this seems to be the most interesting game, right? We're looking at France versus Italy.
I think the Spain-UK one has some potential curveballs to throw, but I think the thing that's strong about this game is that France, much like Turkey, undefeated so far. They've been absolutely demolishing teams. I think the most rounds that they've lost so far in these best of ones is 5. And really, they have no sense of slowing down. Like, it's a strong 6-player roster. They've been rotating players in and out. That combination of Brams and Lux has been really stellar for them. But Italy, despite only winning 1 game out of the 2 that they've played so far, their loss was against Turkey, and they managed to take 8 rounds off of them, which is more so than most people have been able to do up until this point. So there's maybe a chance, at least for Italy, to kind of like stem this run that France have been going on. And I think that Italy have the potential to be a bit more of a dark horse, I think, out of these teams still left in this tournament. I think they're going to be pretty comfortable. They're playing 2 of the hardest teams in their first 3 games. So if they lose this, it's not a big deal. But they can at least show a bit more, and they've shown a lot more structure that I think could actually maybe scare off France, especially if Italy have been putting in the effort the last couple of days.
Exactly my thoughts. That's what I've been thinking about throughout, my reading of today's program. And it's pretty much clear to me that Team Italy has been a team that kept on growing throughout the tournament. Now, this type of growth team usually tend to surprise you. They start off very shy, of course, but again, they could become very dangerous around the end. So the longer they stay around, the more dangerous it gets. But let's see in which map Team Italy will try to bite Team France and try to run away with this point, as Lotus and Bind taken off, Accent and Sunset are out of the question again. This leaves us with only one choice, Team Split, as France is potentially trying to do a remake of France versus Spain, maybe? A very interesting map, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a good map for them. We saw Soon pulling out the Sage as well, like a bit more of a different comp, I suppose, than you'd see from most teams on Split. As for Italy, we've not really seen him play on this map at all. We've seen him play on Lotus and Ascent, so it's sort of really pulling Italy's map pool quite large at this point. But I imagine for Split, they have a bit more freedom. They have the core of Desire on their roster, so a lot of ideas that can be passed along. Ed, of course, was IGLing. He said in the post-game interview last week that he's effectively taken a lot of their strats, but everybody typically knows how to run these things. So this is something that I think Italy will have a couple of ideas for. They've seen what France like to do with the Sage on this map. It's just whether they have an actual answer to shutting this down. Because Soon had a lot of freedom to play that Sage, especially in mid. It was hard to really get anything done for Spain.
Yeah, certainly, and you can clearly look at the selection here, locked by Team France. Soon will be joining the team. Nello is taking her role, combined with Nami, Brams, of course, the in-game leader, as well as Lux 9. In the meantime, Team Italy will be relying on the services of Arnel, who impressed on the previous fixture. Bippo in here, who was the guiding light of Team Italy for most of the part, while Tag, of course, impressed throughout the 2 games that Team Italy played. So I think that here Team Italy is taking this shape, taking this final form that would allow them probably again to run away with this point. Again, I'm not saying that it is a certainty. I'm not even talking about a 50-50 probability. I'm talking personally about a 10% scenarios, and oh boy, didn't I see those 10% scenarios, those 1% scenarios happening. Didn't I see those 12-1 comebacks happen? So again, the only problem in my opinion is this map, Split. Unforgiving map, you have to be organized, you have to know this map, and you need to be ready to take it. So thank you for your feedback, Ryan, while we throw the ball to our casters in here, Eggs and Haza, who will be fulfilling their duties as casters. The mic is yours.
I thought it was mine. I didn't know if you ever owned it. Okay.
Yeah, I think we've got the same one here, so actually we're in good company.
We are indeed. We are indeed. How are you feeling about this one, Hazza? We heard Ryan and Moon's thoughts on this one. Looking to be more competitive. Italy doing a lot better than everybody thought. And I think the same could go for France, actually to an even more extreme point.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I feel like you have two teams with two kind of different trajectories to sort of pull that old trope out. You've got France, who are now this established force, I think it's fair to say, in Spike Nation so far. They have the slight round differential advantage over Turkey. They won't after the result that we've just seen, but that is another team which are essentially locked into your live stage at this point in time. Whereas Italy, they've proven a lot of people wrong. For a team which didn't even have its own Challenger League last year, they have really been sending a lot of notices out. So I'm excited to see how this goes. The only thing is they have changed the lineup slightly. Mochi's come in. It's great to see her after some internet issues, but is that going to maybe shift the balance a bit from when Iju was playing?
Yeah, that's definitely asking questions we're going to be asking. I was about to say askins we're going to be questioning.
Askins we're going to be questioning.
I don't know. I don't know. It happens to everyone, I guess. But yeah, we're looking at mirror comps here. Very traditional split comp from both teams. I'm a little bit disappointed we're not seeing Breach instead of Sky. But yeah, they're looking to eke out performance here, and Sky obviously being able to gain more information of the guiding lights, the Trailblazer, etc. It's looking a lot more likely they'd be heading in this direction. So yeah, no real surprises here. I think it just goes back to the narrative we were talking about earlier. It's how they'll be walking, how they'll be feeling entering into the server, and with the particular changes that they've made, how that will potentially affect performance, if at all.
Yeah, we can see that France have kept the same roster that they had against UK as well. It's Nami coming in, Vekaj sat on the sidelines for this one. And I really like this team, honestly. They've looked brilliant. My main sort of star performer for them so far, other than Lux9, and goes without saying for the numbers this guy's been putting up, would be Nello. It feels like she is the center point, which holds it all together. She was saying to us on the interview how going back to Sentinel, it's the role which she feels most comfortable on, you know, being that anchor. And it's also a little bit different, you know, it's not like your Chamber or your Smokes player, for example. And again, just this A defense where we already see her set up is where she looked to thrive before. So now we head into this one from the Alps in the north to the Mediterranean south. It is France versus Italy on Split.
It is indeed, and it's France on defense, Italy on attack as we get this show on the road, with Italy having heavy presence towards this B site. Only one defender, actually, so if Nami does end up getting quashed here, that would be the end of this site. Obviously, with presence over in Heaven, might be a potential for some crossfires, but look at Italy just moving in to get off of the back of a single paranoia. Nami, let's drop back, trying to save her life for a little bit longer, but no, that's all she wrote. Sight is fully under Italy's control as they get the spike down, as well as a numbers advantage.
Yeah, nicely done from Italy, using that wall towards spawn as well. It's created a weird off angle where we now see Kaden tucked in the corner and will need to get cleared out as they start to move in. It's Brams and Lux to try and do it, but Kaden mows them down with the frenzy. And now it's a 1 versus 3. Cannot be pulled off by Nello as she moves over from the A site. And that is the pistol round for Italy.
It really is. As simple as that. And it all just started from that execute. I think it was really funny how Tag just decided, all right, I'm just going to sprint to the right with my frenzy out, try and spray as if it's a rifle, and it worked out. Ending up with a kill up on Heaven, a very crucial kill, was soon not in the picture. The rest of the players from France were just a little bit too far away to respond, so it gave Italy's numbers advantage to collect the rest of that game, after that round, excuse me. But now, dropping into the second round, Bulldog and Riflery galore, as we see Tag on a Vandal as well.
Yeah, it's a nice early slow orb, actually. Keeps Brams in position, but there is no follow-up. Again, using those one-ways outside of B to inhibit this early control that Italy have, because you expect Nello to be this A anchor on the Cypher. Of course, they rotate it when it doesn't work, and they go on the offensive when they don't have the guns, but it should be a kill. Lux with the Sheriff is a completely different beast entirely, though, and I can expect him to get a couple more here even.
Oh my god, that paranoia was clutch! Lux is thanking Nami for that one. Oh, but doesn't survive much longer. Nami closes up the gap! This is incredible! That is ridiculous! But still, France keep an even score. It is a 2v2. Italy, obviously, with a superior weaponry, have got the advantage. They know, well, their opponents know exactly where they are. They still have to collect the spike and still got to make a decision to make without knowing where Brams is.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you really want that overpeak, and soon we'll give it to them on a silver platter.
Oh,
Brams has the Marshal, though, and both of these players are in body shot range. Heck, they're even lower. It's going to be a combined 47 HP before the healing orb comes in, and still, this won't keep you out of harm's way when it comes to Bram's Marshall, and he's still alive. But the Classic has pole vaulted it from the top. It's 1-1, and we're back at deadlock immediately.
The moment Bram's got the collateral, we instantly all thought, no way, an opportunity here. And as you righteously mentioned, they were crucially both away from the one-shot range from the Marshal, and picking up that kill on Aranel by the end of it was brilliant. But I think the fact that Lux and Soon were able to delay this as much as they did was really the saving grace of this particular round. So France, even though they only had pistols at the start of this round, they end up with the win, and don't allow Italy to run away too far.
Yeah, in that situation, you would have thought that Brams was the one on high HP, but here we go into a round which France do have the better weapons in. I mean, even Lux9 getting that opener on the Sheriff, I almost fancied him to find a couple more there like he did against Team UK before. Le Petit Fufu, the little crazy guy, only 19 years of age, we have to just remember, like, the potential that this guy has is crazy. So that's one of the most exciting things about this tournament, I think, just seeing all of this new upcoming talent. Yeah.
That's a crazy position to find an attacker in.
I was going to say, surely you just stay here and see if anyone looks to overpeak, but
I wanted to see if Tag would stay there, because obviously it's not a position that it would be checked, but obviously at the same time with the tripwire that was placed, it was sort of anticipated that potentially in Italy had the opportunity to push through there. But still, Italy
I'm just trying to
trading.
work out how he even picked up the Bulldog there, you know, because it was only on a Sheriff. And yes, someone died in vents, but the gun, did they drop it into the vent to him? Has he just gone and, like, collected a gift? Christmas has come early, and now it's a 2v2, right? This is fully winnable, especially if Soon can't connect the shots. Trailblazer clear spawn, but now Aranel has to do it all on the Sheriff.
Oh, beautiful shot. Oh, we've seen Sheriff clutches like this before, but it doesn't happen this time around. So for France, an expensive round, but one which they secured nonetheless.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any kind of a replay as to how that has exactly worked for I mean, if you look at the money, 1.4k could certainly have bought it into the round, but the fact that they also had a Sheriff, I don't know. Let's go back and look
with
at
the pink headset just now? Wait, look at the player count.
And then picked it up. I don't know.
Yeah, it is Soon. I love that headset.
Scary pink. Sticks out like a sore thumb.
When I used to, when I just started commentating, by the way, it was part of my image, a pink pair of headphones.
You know what the cat is?
No, it didn't. But it was a pink pair of headphones that was part of my brand once upon a time. But now I guess everybody considers me a Zlatan lookalike.
Yeah.
They've switched places, those two things.
You can score from any angle, commentate from any setting, I suppose. I don't know what the pastor equivalent of Zlatan Ibrahimovic would be.
Just stick to the looks. I don't think there is any other parallel.
Sure. You're pretty tall.
Not as tall as him.
Nobody's as tall as Zlatan.
Nobody as tall as Zlatan.
And Soon's going to have to stand 6 feet tall here if anything is to happen. Even then some. Gets one, but a 1-for-1 will not cut it when they've already got the early advantage on none other than Lux9.
Italy are going to like the numbers advantage they have here. Because having it on the attack means that the defenses have been spread out quite wide. Unless a potential collaborative effort has been put into place by the defenders, and that's exactly what's going to happen as soon as they hear the spike getting touched. They're going to be pushing even further. Kaden is able to find one, but thankfully for Italy, Tag is on the case at an elevated angle. Now Nami left to pick up the pieces, but they will all disperse and disallow from doing so. So there we have it, 2-2. Looks like both of the teams want to stick to close proximity with each other.
Yeah, and even on the previous round, I think we were seeing Nello on the Sheriff, right, sticking out like a sore thumb, like Soon's headset with the rest of the rifles. And yeah, like even here, it's not even going to be a full buy. You're buying down to sort of 1,500, 2,000 credits. Italy can continue, you know, snowballing a little bit. This is their attacker side of split as well. It was a 9-3 defensive half for France when they played against Spain. That game did
All
also
right.
start off a little bit closer and eventually get away from them, but I say
Are we going to see another thrifty round? Is this what we're seeing right now? Is this what you're trying to tell me? Brams with the only rifle of the team, and that's where Italy choose to attack. Arenal, it does take vengeance, but is it enough?
Another good question. I think the biggest weight off of France's shoulders here is going to be the absence of tag in mid and the inclusion of Lux9. Another kill on his Sheriff. Dripped and soaked in blood. Showstopper played a little early, and it invites the possibility of a Kaden 1v3. Playing around his dark cover in the backside of map, looking to lead them in the right direction. It's a double swing around the corner, and he's just about evaded them in this reposition towards elbow. A nasty angle to try and re-peek, and he's got the whole 9 yards round the side. Nami the first to base. The spike is off, but it matters not. 4 for Kaden, and Italy deny the thrifty round.
That was ridiculous, Kaden. And so smart to just move away from that angle altogether, because then you just create question marks of the proximity where you'll be entering from. Which position you'll be taking to try and take down that spike diffuser. And of course, connects a shot onto Kaden. Nilo, panicked by the prospect of an opponent being close, drops off away from the spike diffusal, faces demise just as the rest of the team of Italy.
Oh man.
God damn.
Crazy round, and that was only an eco. Lux9, young Mbappe trying to get out, has the operator, and Bogdan's law would state the guy can still get work done from this position. It's not the opening pick that Italy would have been vowing for. But still, damage dealt and healed off by Soon in rotation.
Might create a bit of an opening here on mid, which Italy are looking to exploit. Look how deep Ibipo's been able to get to.
Yeah, France are completely offering up this mid area. They have the standard one-way on towards ramp Cypher cam, so you can spot the legs, and then you have these vent players, but Nello really doesn't want to lose this cam, actually, because as soon as you do, you're going to need that deep playing Brams to rotate one over. There's a smoke right in the middle. So much presence for Italy to collapse on this side.
Guiding Light reveals a couple of players onto the site already. Nilo looking at the wrong direction and can't find the headshot before he drops himself. Now France on the back foot. As much as he tried to close the gap from behind, but look how low tag is. Just one bullet away, anyone on his body will be the end of his life. And Brams is so close to picking up an ace. A 5-player to the tally, a 5-kill to the tally in this particular round. Kaden lets the boombot explode so he can focus on the shooting, but my oh my, is he low.
No way.
Picks up one, but Brams gets the ace through the wall, and France get the dub.
Oh, I didn't think that Kaden was going to be acing that again. I'm not too sure if they had maybe even spotted a bit of that shrouded step on the corner of the map TV. Or the TP, I should say. But yeah, the boombot catching him is just insult to injury. All the way down to 55 points of health. And yeah, Brams really stepping up so far in this map for his team. You know, Kaden as well has been a point of consistency. But the ace here is huge. And they really needed that too. It's also the operator saved, so Lux9 can give it his best effort and a second go.
This is actually turning out to be quite the explosive game, and I'm loving it. Kaden 14-4 is the score he's got. He's loving this game. Yeah, this is brilliant. The way these two teams have been playing up against each other, and Lux just gets a collateral to open up round 7.
Oh man, Lux lining him up, as will be the org CEOs trying to get his signature, I imagine, if things carry on as they have done. Currently on Zerance, but...
Look, it's not over if Mochi's able to find his way over to the other side of the map with a res, but he's so far away, it would spend so much time of Italy's clock.
I mean, you have your pick of the bunch, right? There's 2 players on the floor.
Tag! Look at Tag!
Here comes Tag, yeah,
They
again,
don't know.
in through mid, using so much of the space to his advantage, but Soon's got a double, and that is the round done and over with. Aranel
Yeah,
1v4, and you're just asking for so much. With the scope of Lux primed and ready, the shot should connect, but we can wait a moment longer, I'm sure.
Tag's position there would have been the saving grace.
There.
It would have been. But with 30 seconds, Aranel, call to action. What can she do here? Rez as well. Boring! France, come on! Give us a fight. No, they wanted a greater player advantage, and with the shot in the end, securing the round. And thus, I believe, the lead.
Yeah, that is going to be the lead now for France, like you say. I mean, I don't even want to say there's a half chance there at the end for Aranel. No one in the site to sort of challenge, so you get the spike planted. The Bulldog burst is pretty strong. Is it strong enough to win what becomes a 1 versus 4? Probably not. I think the biggest takeaway that I'm getting from these rounds is how much room Tag is being given in mid, like you say. France had been giving that up a lot, and just as soon as you see that happen, now they go on the offensive and they stack up in this area. Brams playing in front of the wall and unlikely to get cleared if it's just this flash.
They don't check Brams, do they?
They have no idea.
They don't check Brams at all. Oh, come on, Mochi! Oh, it could have been so much more, but it's going to have to be what it is, a 1v1, a 1-for-1, as Italy try to close in on the right-hand side of the map. 2 on Heaven, 2 entering from main. 2 players from France have to get a 1v2 fight. Nilo.
Huge. This positioning from Nello is
Gets
absolutely
one.
huge. Yeah, it's just breaking down the split pushes again. France was so good at this before, and suddenly it's a 4 versus 2. Italy have lost all their advantages in through mid, and they are falling apart at the seams, Pavlos.
They really are. They really are. The hopes are on Caden, who, by the way, has got a lot of kills already. So if there's anyone to do it, it's got to be him. Feeling hot as ever, finds the time to head over to the B site. So Spike potentially will be going down. But how much more can Caden get? Closest up the gap, that's interesting. That's so cool. That's so good from Caden. Catches France off guard. Soon and Nami say goodbye to them. It's a Nilo versus Caden 1v1.
And he's been good from these positions before. Nello has her work cut out for her. A little wrap around, a smoke in the sight. Trying to work out what the angle of attack is. It's not quite planted for main, so Nello could certainly get a half stick here. And in fact, Caden is just so hyper aware of a potential flank. And that smoke coming out as well continues to play the mind games, but she is just going to hop on it, and he can't deny this half stick.
She's thinking, oh, okay. All right, it's just going to be the half stick, but the trap just disappears, and it favors Caden. That's the quadra for Caden. What an effort that was. A 1v4 clutch. How about that?
That is ridiculous. These rounds are so flip of a coin as well, because it feels like as soon as the team is making a good decision, like France mixing it up in mid, right, giving themselves a little bit of space to go for an outplay, they get punished on the extension. And once Italy is shaping up for their A hit, it's a brilliant adjustment. Like, this is something I was saying that France were doing against Team UK a lot. They were succeeding by just shutting down like all of the split pushes. When you're fighting a certain area of the map, you're denying that control. Nello is prioritizing main. And then Caden's just Caden, 18-5, is having a serious run at this point in time.
How about that?
I mean, I know you mentioned the headphones, but just to cut in, I thought we had the cams the wrong way round. Brams is wearing a Juventus jersey. That is one of the biggest teams in Italy. I don't know if what that's about exactly, but
he's saying that even if you lose, you've got someone with a bit of Italy in him that will win.
Fair enough.
I guess.
Italy
or at least a bit of Italy on him.
Yeah.
I don't know how diehard of a Juventus fan. Maybe he is. Maybe he is. But yeah, brilliant. I'm actually so excited for this match as it continues, because it's been a bit of a back and forth. These players from both of the teams aren't scared to take fights, aren't scared to go for some fancy footwork and fancy plays. And I'm loving it. And that's exactly what we want to see in matches such as this, in showdowns of nations. And for this one in particular, this round, Italy seems to be getting the upper hand, getting that first pick and having a decision to make whether they stick to their guns to this right-hand side or want to head towards mid. And rotate over to B.
Stick or twist, that is the question. I think that Bipo should be doing their due diligence here and at least having a look at what the score is in Vents, because France have rotated over. They're giving themselves sort of every chance to win each round that we're seeing. There are Guardians and Bulldogs in the mix. It's a half by all accounts. And look at this re-clear from Soon as well. They're going to be pincering in towards this position. Can Italy punch their way out of trouble?
Guiding light available. It's going to keep him busy for a sec as Nami repositions. Nami's there, unchecked. Good for one. Soon, quick on the case on the back line. Doubles up. So, it is a 2v2. France have been able to even out the scales a little bit. Doesn't check again beneath, but it's still a one-on-one. Brams without the gun out. And Bippo's repositioning with 20 seconds, picks up the spike. Brams swings, but it's Bippo's kill and Italy's win.
Oh, man. Did another crazy round. They're like, France don't even have the weaponry to be going toe-to-toe there. Like, it should not be happening. But some of these defensive reads that they're making are actually pretty damn good. Like, Soon gets so much value on the re-clear from the flank. They rotate over with it as well. They have a rough idea where Italy are. I have absolutely no idea how Lux9 has managed to get that showstopper off. It hasn't been his, you know, his hallmark, his calling card so far this game. But now we're in a full investment for both teams. This one, you know, whoever ends up winning can't be feeling too hard done by. But that shot is crazy from Brams to open us off.
It is. It always just starts off this way, but even with a team's numbers advantage, it never ends up the way you expect it to. So, holding on to my horses for now. As France seem to have good understanding of Italy's position, especially after that Trailblazer clearing out ramp.
Here.
Now Italy splitting up, unlike the previous round, as they did go for a sort of a death ball approach. And open up mid entirely.
Yeah, wall broken, but you still have the trap there. Nello has repositioned her setup towards B. Italy getting the sort of control that they've been used to in these last couple of rounds.
Brams just used the guiding light that came out.
Garage, yeah, you expecting the B play, and France are well equipped for it.
30 seconds
Good
left.
knowledge of the absence towards the A site, and by process of elimination, it's got to be B.
Look at the time.
Seeker's enabled. 20 seconds to take this attack. Lux, quashed soon. Next to be taken down, but no, holds on to his ground for now, and so is Nello. 10 seconds. How quick can Italy be on this attack? They haven't found their way on side. Instead, they all drop like flies in the sky. And Italy, yeah, there's no way in this one. It's France to gain the win and the equalization on the score.
Yeah, to answer your question, Pavlos, not quick enough. You come into the last sort of 20, 30 seconds and it looks like Italy have run out of good options. You either make the last dash attempt towards A, where you haven't cleared out ramp, you don't have the kind of scaling that you'd usually get from your Cypher player if you're caging up into ramp, or, you know, God forbid Bipo doesn't get absolutely slammed blast backing in the first, like, 2 seconds of the round. And yeah, France with such deep control hold on to the sites brilliantly. So now at a scoreline of 5-5, and looking at the economy of both teams, a win here is absolutely huge.
We'll definitely spice things up quite substantially as Italy try and take a slower approach, given they've got not much weapons to go with it as well. Not that that has stopped any team today.
Seeing as well, Nami rocking the Nats Phantom. Let's see how good that impression is when push comes to shove.
What's the Nats Phantom?
It's like, you know, the Prism Phantom with the Masters buddy.
All right.
Because this is tournament client, so you can get anything, right?
Yes. You can
It
get
is
anything.
clean.
It's cheating. That's what it is.
Oh my god, you gotta beat Lux first if you want to get to Nami. 2
Being
kills
clean
and
with
a paint shells. It's not stopped. It's peeking through his own utility, for goodness sake, taking more
All right.
damage. But eco frags all the same picked up, and this one
30 seconds
packaged, not quite yet delivered by France, but certainly postage stamps.
Lux is going to get the ace here. At least France are just going to hold their triggers until Lux gets it. Unless Nami says, no, it's the Patials that get it!
Oh, man.
It's the Patials that get the final kill to secure the ace.
It's like Nami was sat in the site the whole time, Lux just doing all the work. Thinking, oh, can I get involved now? Please, please. Lux like, nope, not done yet. Gets the reset on the paint shells, drops back into the site. Now
I
it's like,
wonder-
finally, a fight. And then just
I wonder if it was
Aranel
intentional.
painted on the
That
wall.
Nami tried to go for body shots to make
Just
the player
soften them
low.
up.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder.
Who knows? I mean, honestly, we're talking Giga Brain Valorant at that point in
That
time.
is.
And these are
Indeed.
teams which have confessed their bad practices and not scrimming, perhaps. So, who knows?
Well, Bippo uses Showstopper to take down a Sage Wall while taking down 25 points of his health. And Italy look to be going in a pacey fashion towards his right-hand side.
Yeah. Look at all the space that
Caution
Lux has
here.
taken.
Yeah.
Right? France can happily afford this kind of a rotate, and you're walking into Nello's
Here.
setup to make matters worse.
Bippo to start pushing forward, start cover to allow the initiation of the attack from main. Guiding lights, making sure that players are onto this backside. Caden, though, has to spare the attention span to two different people, and France are taking over, overwhelming the attacking Italy side, and in a matter of seconds, it's all for France as they don't drop a single player throughout that exchange.
Yeah. 2 aces for France on their defender's side, and 2 rounds the gap between the two teams. I think even there on that round as well, you're just seeing what kind of discipline we have from France in their positioning and how they like to play. They're happy to give up mid if they're not actively fighting it. Yeah, you had Nami keeping a close eye on things, but then as soon as that heaven control is established on A, everyone is set up in the back of sight, and it's so difficult to take those duels as Italy, waterfalling out of heaven. Again, it just feels like France are doing a brilliant job at containing what Italy have really been showing thus far. You know, despite some individual brilliance coming onto their defense, things will look a whole lot different.
But France playing in a similar manner that Italy have been approaching this game. Very composed at the start, trying to get a read of it, not get overzealous. It's sort of this mid-range composition,
Yeah.
the way you expect it to pan out.
By the time we get into the gun round as well, the part that scares me the most is this is now a Lux 9 on raise, on attack, so the operator is gone, and it's just
Yeah.
completely unleashed. For now, we have to settle for pistols, and there is quite a nice crossfire towards Vent. Nello has to play spoiler to all of this going on as France are preparing to hit A.
Paranoia ready and waiting for Caden, but no, runs away, and it's the wrong timing to do it, but doesn't even matter. Bippo is there, and that's 2 kills. Turns around. Nella says no, enough of that, and doubles up herself. We're looking at a 3-on-3, and Mochi intervenes. Rotation over to the B side, but there's a Cypher and a Tripwire there and waiting, together with a Cam to give further information for Tag. Swings out, that's a kill. They know exactly where Brams is, so the finishing blow will be as easy as ever. Italy with a pistol. Looks like they'll be closing a gap a lot sooner than France would have liked.
Yeah, Italy have such a nice setup there as well. I was expecting France to execute a little bit quicker and Nello be that player that stabs in the back. But in the end, what happens is you hear this sort of fake rotation away and it sets up Bippo because France, they believe that's their cue. But he swiftly shows them stage left and it is quite a nice investment. But you can never count out France on these sheriffs.
No, you really can't. You really can't. I wonder who will be doing the popping off this one. But for now, Caden takes a chunk out of his health to end up with a kill there, and so Bippo on a different front finds success. all falling into place for Italy this time around. As I do say that, Brahms ends up with one, but Tag cleans up soon after. Nami, look at this.
Oh, no.
Is this a
kill?
knife opportunity?
First knife kill of the
Please, no!
tournament.
Nami, come on! Well,
Look, there
I guess
isn't much
it's all
incentive.
business on the server. It's all business on the server right now.
Exactly. This is white-collar Valorant at its finest. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Have we seen a knife kill so far? I think we might have seen one. But again, there is no
maybe.
real incentive to go for it. You know, you don't have kill rewards on different guns and weapons, so...
I think we might have had a knife kill day one. But
I
I'm
think
not
so.
so sure. Either way. No, I think we had a failed attempt for a knife kill. I don't think we actually ended up with one.
Perhaps.
Either way. It's just
Someone
a
in
few...
chat, just flag us up on it, right?
Yeah, let us know. Forget. Getting old. Army
Oh no, missed the cam.
tagged by the cam as well. Oh, good for one. Blind as a bat though. For the next 6 seconds, we'll have to wonder, is there another chance to find another kill? Italy really not handing them over. They want to make sure 2 Bulldogs will be remaining with them for the next round as well. So, equalization, equilibrium, 7-7.
Yeah, it's comfortable enough in the end for Italy. Nami doing a decent job there in that situation. A couple more kills under her belt will help the confidence at the very least. 7-7. Italy now on their defense. This is the half which they sort of struggled on a little bit more against Germany, but were able to consolidate their efforts. That was on Lotus, however. Split, notoriously more difficult on your attacking side. And Mochi's brought out the judge in mid. It has received a nerf, but I think this is pre-patch, so still a very strong choice.
True, very true. Oh, reveal. And Mochi delivers.
Just
That
how I
wall is going to
remember
allow the cross and an upgrade to a Vandal, but is stuck in place. Never mind who's stuck with who. Mochi takes down 2 before he drops. Oh, that is crazy. That is simply crazy. And Nami left to her own devices. In a 1v3 with Bippo holding on the spawn line in an off angle, and Nami couldn't do a thing about it. So Italy, not only did they win the first 2 rounds of this half after the pistol, they'll be winning a 3rd one and keeping that momentum going.
As I was saying, it's just how I remember it. The judge, pre-nerf, and well, to be honest, even post-nerf, it's still pretty damn good. But yeah, I think
Let's
we
be
have to
fair,
also...
you'll still be playing it every day in comp.
100%. But like, just looking at the grander narrative of this game for a second, I think it's fair to say Italy need this win a lot more than France do. So taking it off of a name like that, where you don't really have the expectation that they would, could be absolutely huge. And Caden, again, back to his old self, looking for something aggressive early doors, baits out some utility.
That is true.
But doesn't keep the space.
That is true. I love it though. A for effort. And A for the idea.
Playday 1 versus Turkey was the one where you got the triple from the corner, I think it was, Ascent. A short.
Oh, Mochi. Oh, Mochi, that is clean. Runs away with it, and Italy looking to take this even further. Paranoid, I think a little bit late. Lux wasn't quite affected by it, I do believe, but Aranor is there. And if there's anyone to stop it, it's going to be her, especially with assistance from above. Slowly but surely, Italy looking to close this out little by little. Nami, only player with a weapon that can do a lot of damage. But with 30 seconds, the time is dwindling, and the longer it spans, less opportunity France will have to do anything about this, considering how much Italy have invested into the defense of this B site. And with Bippo going all the way around, they caged in, dead people walking. And Tag with that double allows Italy to move up to a 9-7 score, placing 2 rounds of difference between the two teams.
Yeah, I can almost put myself in Bipo's shoes in that situation. You're just looking at the minimap, you're seeing the players pop up or the question marks in Garage the whole time. And as the mid player, you're thinking, should I go over there? Like, there's probably a couple of kills if I go over there. Like, let me go. And as soon as you arrive, they finally peek and pick up the frags. So now we're coming into the gun round. This is the big one. Double digits for Italy, and with that most likely coming in 11th. A lot faster of an approach from France. It is Lux to put them on the front foot. Shots coming in.
Tag, get out of the cam.
Of Tag, but actually uses their opponent's smoke to their advantage. Gets out of harm's way, and a big rotation called. All 10 players engrossing the A site as it stands.
But the slow won't allow them to cross in time, and the wall has been broken. So they're going to have to go through this fight by shooting at 2 different angles. The slow delays him even further. So does the bot. And the dark cover will seal the deal as well. No way France try to go for the attack here. They're just spraying through the smoke and end up with a kill. And Bipo's find his way through. Rams stops it from happening. So the A site is now being taken over. Resurrection will even the playing field for a little bit. But for how long is the question?
I don't know, because in that exchange, so much utility was lost. It's only the Sky players that are going to have flashes here to try and instigate something. Lux carries on. And Nami picks up where they left off. A 3 versus 2, advantage maintained for France. And both of these Italian defenders are shut out in the heavens without a key. The flash would be the way back through, and Mochi engages once again. But Nami's position, so deep lying in main, could be enough to unfurl it all. And instead, it is Soon with 3 from the bowels of the site itself that will put them up to an 8th.
Thankfully for them, it's been a while since they've gotten around. Yeah. And I think they're thanking their former selves in the previous half for creating a small buffer at least. So even though they're down 4 consecutive rounds, it's the difference is only 1 EMEA round. So another win here will put them back on square footing. But this was a bit laboured, I'm not going to lie. It took quite a while for them to shut it all down, and quite messy in the middle of it. So I'm not quite sure how happy they are, but at least they get it done in the end.
I mean, in terms of coordination, perhaps a few misplaced pieces. You didn't, you know, the paint shells was your first point of contact, really. And yeah, Lux is going to empty his pockets just to get heaven control in this situation. The wall is a bit more creative this time around. There's a gap, which can lead up to some different interpretations, but Bipo sees one thing only, and that is a kill with a showstopper, overstaying his welcome in elbow as the pesky neighbors make their way onto the site, and they're back up to 5.
Important to have the lead here in numbers. Seekers revealing all the positioning, heading towards the side of screens. And Lux is there and ready. Crossfire at the right position. Kaden is crept by though. I don't know they know Kaden is pushed. They might have. One's turned in this direction now, but is it on time? Lux with a triple. Nello delivers. And Nami is on the flank. France have been able to equalize. And yeah, it's been a while. They've gotten a few rounds together, but they have now. And yeah, they're giving us a really good game.
Yeah, it's like what Nello was saying in the interview the other day. We're just better. And they take that mindset and they apply it to the last couple of rounds. It is a W held into the site each time. And Lux coming alive on this occasion to really tear them apart. Italy timeout. Wonder what the feeling is like in their camp right now. They had 7 rounds on the trot, both sides of the half. Or that is completely wrong, actually. I've just seen the green light up my screen. It was 4 rounds in a row, but still, it could feel like 7. Italy have certainly been on a run.
Yeah, they have. I mean, breaking bonus twice is quite something. So the timeout, rightfully so, coming here. It feels like Italy have been a little bit hesitant to push through some choke points and finding it very difficult to initiate their attack onto sites. So trying to find an answer to it, potentially changing their approach, going a bit more wide rather than stacking all of their eggs into one basket might be the solution here. And yeah, let's see how this one works out, whether they're able to adapt onto their retakes a little bit better. But France, on the other hand, they've started to read things, started to understand how Italy approach it and counteract them perfectly thus far.
Yeah, and this is one of the differences I was speaking about with the defenders' sides, how France were setting these deep-lying holds, inviting the pressure. Maybe they were playing retake or they had a decent hold on the site, whereas Italy don't feel as if they're either which way. They're trying to challenge them, but not fully playing the retake at the same time, I guess you could say, because they're investing player numbers early and perhaps losing out in that regard. Caden spotted 2 players.
Good info.
The cage that comes through allows him a safety bubble from which to spam and poke away at. But it's information gained and nothing more at this point in time. France are recuperating.
Interesting dark cover towards mid, alluding to the idea that France perhaps are heading towards A via mid. But is that going to sell the fake, especially when the Trailblazer is spent in the direction of Aranel? So France now playing the quiet game up until Lux can use a showstopper to the back of sight. Mochi is no more, and Lux doesn't quite have enough in him to end up with a kill against Caden. Caden holding onto the site, waiting for the teammates to arrive to have more reinforcements to deal with the oncoming Frenchman. Brams finds a shot, but there's not much follow-up as Bippo's back in the fight. Aranel from above keeps on giving, and it's soon alone for France. 13 seconds and no chance to get the spike down. Jumps over the wall, 9 seconds, finds the gap. They know where he is as he makes a lot of noise. Bippo with a headshot, and it's Italy with a win.
Man, that's crazy. For a moment there, I think Aranel, until they heard the thundering footsteps, wasn't entirely sure off of the Sky audio cue, but flips around just in time and soon denied another multi-kill for him in this game. Well held on to in the site here. I think that's the difference. They sort of committed to taking these jewels, and it was supported with utility as well. The boombot coming through there, and yeah, the flip around to close things out. So much better from Italy. They also had that Trailblazer re-clearing mid. France, they see this, they go, okay, let's just do what worked for us. That's Lux up ramp and an opening kill.
Again, how much do opening kills have been dictating the outcome of rounds? Let's see. This time around, it will be any different if France can seal the deal here. Very much respected their effort here. Italy not really engaging with the fight in heaven. Instead, allow France to move in slowly but surely and decide that the fight will be up to Caden and Tag onto the site from the shadows. Impactful, showing the positioning of 2 players. Well, France now wary of these defenders will take their time into clearing out these corners. Nella with one, soon with the other, but Caden at least gets 1 kill as consolidation, but it's still a 2v4, and Italy trying to fight a really difficult fight.
There's a very late Nami flank coming through as well here. Aranel and Mochi together. She is creeping up behind, and France are willing to give Nami the time of day to make this play happen. The self-heal puts them in a difficult situation. Hands tied, as is the scoreline, 10 apiece.
I hate to call it this early, but it feels like this game is destined for overtime. Both of these teams are just taking rounds off of each other, one by one. It feels like it's a tug of war at this point, where both of these teams are tugging at each other. And we're not seeing too much of a resistance from either side, as in to create too much of a substantial difference between the two. So 10 to 10 is the score. And no clear winners at this point.
That rope is certainly starting to have split ends in it, Pavlos. And my own concern here is for Italy on this defender's side, how that economy is going to look if we keep going blow for blow. Because you're going to start seeing things like Mochi on this Spectre. Maybe a key piece of utility is missing. Aranel doesn't have the Trailblazer. It's stuff like that which can really make a difference on the round. France, a slower one this time. Still information gained towards Garage. Bippo has fallen.
Mochi's got a decision to make here. Does the peak happen? No. Elects the drop back instead, and rightfully so, as Paintshaw's were heading right in his direction, and soon takes a chance to find himself in an aggressive position and comes out on top on the trade. So Italy trailing here, France have a chance, but Caden wants to make the endeavor a little bit more difficult. The saving grace for Italy, Caden ends up dropping eventually. Aronel on site, can only last for 1 kill, and it's Tag alone.
Big 1 versus 3. Stood on top of the wall. This smoke is an absolute nuisance to try and play around. Has to be conscious of so many different angles. Begins to break the wall, but doesn't see it through. Nello has the spawn cross. There is a flash prepared on contact from Brams. Nami with a jump spot. All of the information on France's side of the table. Cards held close to the chest. Tag looking to play an ace of his own, and it's not going to happen. Nello, a poker face of our own, and that's 11-10. And now this is what I'm talking about. Italy, no money on your defender's side, and France can put themselves up to 12. That overtime might just be a far-fetched dream or conclusion in the end, Pavlos.
Oh, you're right. The eco from Italy has been completely reset. That's not going to be a good sign for this Italian side, as if France get the win here, which is very likely, given the discrepancy in weaponry, we'll be seeing a very dangerous France on a very dangerous match point. And that could put Italy in a 1-win and 2-lose situation in the bracket here at the international stage of Spike Nations. And France could be going 3-0 to be greeting Turkey with a potential 3-0, 3-0 matchup tomorrow, which would be quite the spicy one.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that game. I think, you know, coming into it, it's 2 teams which have a lot of players who compete regionally, endemically, to their own challenger region, that have been around, that are established forces. You know, they all share the same language within the country as well. Very distinct cultural teams, I think, and it's certainly proving to be an exciting matchup, no matter how this one ends. But for now, it is Italy trying to play a little more towards mid. They expend resources in that department. They give up A. Tag playing Overwatch has a little information on the cam, but
Tag is a do or don't in this one.
Yeah, will have been spotted himself here anyway, so the paranoia shuts him down.
Wary of the position now, France can act accordingly. Caden and Mochi have been able to find themselves in a very close angle, therefore impactful with their kills, but Soon and Nami have got it all covered. No trouble at all. Yes, they lose 3 players, but what they needed was a round secure, and that's what they get.
Really nicely done to clean that one up. In here and towards Vent, a little dicey, and when you start to see those Italian names popping up in the kill feed again, Pavlos, there's a little part of me that thinks we're going to see some more ridiculousness, but all of that could end here. First operator outing from Beepo, a chance to try and revolutionize this defender's side, but it's a streak of 2 rounds, which we haven't seen for a while from Italy, which concerns me most. That's your operator gone. Forget about it.
Oh, showstopper! It creates an opening for Mochi, which Mochi takes the push forwards, but it's to inevitable demise. Caden drops. The star piece of Italy is no more. And Italy, in a matter of seconds at the start of this round, have crumbled completely. France look to steamroll their way through this B site, steamroll their way through Arenal as well. 13-10 to be the score at the end of this match, and it's France to get themselves the 3rd win here in Spike Nations, going 3-0 in the bracket.
And we will be having that 3-0 matchup then that you somewhat theorized. A little caster's curse on the overtime, I think it's fair to say.
Blessing.
France winning every single round from that point onwards. But you could kind of see it. The writing was on the wall in terms of economy. As soon as they got themselves back in that game, France, a very strong unit as a team. Lux leading the line yet again. But I think you could really toss that MVP award to sort of 3 out of the 5 of those players there. Soon and Brams also had some fantastic performances with finding multis in different positions. You've got to feel hard on Italy because, you know, scoring 10 rounds against France, it's great. It shows the potential. Again, it's just dropping that pin on the map, but it doesn't bring you the points that you need to be progressing and giving you a little more comfortability in that top 4.
Indeed. Indeed. So there's a little bit more fighting that Italy is required to do, but they gave us a really good match. So I can't wait for Moon and Ryan to break this all down for us.
Thank you, Azza, and of course, thank you, X, for commentating this game. And I'm absolutely delighted to have been part of this. Like, really, the game was extremely interesting. And honestly, if there's any petition to sign in order to make those two teams replay this map, I'd gladly sign it over and over again, man. It doesn't matter. 1,000 signatures, I'll get you 999. So overall, Ryan, what would you make of this game?
Where do we even begin, I suppose? I wanted to see a lot out of Italy. I think that they were a squad that underestimated. Has kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, they only recently got a regionalized league for themselves in EMEA, and I think the region as a whole has shown up massively better than anticipated. And I think in this map, it was the same sort of thing, right? Italy pick up both the pistols, even win a bonus, and having 5 rounds on their attack going into the half was pretty solid, considering there was so many, like, Caden clutches, for example. But it really felt once we got onto Italy's defense, I think the term ex-warrior like Pavlos used was like holding on for one of their defensive rounds that they win. And it just felt like every single round Italy were just fighting for their lives on site, because these executes from France were just constantly going. They were constantly pressuring these areas, and Italy were just choosing to take the fights instead of like stacking on a site and just trying to bunker up there. And at that point, it just kind of felt like Lux and Soon especially kind of had the run in that they wanted, and they could really do a lot of damage on that attacking side.
Yeah, exactly. And if we roll back a little bit to the beginning of the game, right, we've seen two names predominantly existing on the left side of the kill feed. And I think that there's no question in here that the performance that were presented by Caden and, of course, what Grams did literally highlighted that first half. And one point that I would like to discuss with you is Caden showed up on the first half with 18 kills to his name around the 10th round. And right after that, he kind of vanished. He's been an important backbone to the team. Then, especially moving into the second round, he has been omnipresent with every execution that Team France presented. He was reading his opponents really well, but failed to deliver. Of course, his teammates were able to, of course, interrupt any sort of attempt to take a side. They were there to cover for him, but then again, I do think that all that consistency on the first half was kind of lackluster. So a little bit more on this after our short break, Ryan, as we take a little breather, and we'll be back with you preparing for the third game of
We got the MVP. We got to talk about who is the top dog.
My God.
We got a Soon interview as well, which I think I think the MVP is likely going to be Lux at this point, because he ended up top fragging towards the end. So we'll see, I guess, in a second. But I do think the Brams would have been a call for MVP. Yeah, I mean, this is probably the third MVP that Lux has managed to get. And with almost 30 kills again, kind of isn't a surprise as to why. But I think Soon was a good shout in as well. Like, I think the impact he had on Sage was really solid. The way that he adjusted where he was using his Sage walls was really nice. When Italy were just going aggressively for mid each time, just breaking the wall, I think Soon adjusted nicely to make sure that he got a bit more effective use out of it. But also the calling for Brams has been stellar, honestly. Like, the adjustments on attack and defense have been really good for him. I think you could put Caden on that list as well with the amount of damage he did. But really, kind of like I think Pavlos said again, like right at the end, 3 out of the 5 players on that French roster could have been nominations for MVP.
Yep, clearly. And, I could clearly see, Brams just pulling out a book, pulling out a stack of papers, be like, okay, guys, here's the plan. So Team France literally had a plan drawn at the stage, and we've been discussing this over and over again, that France is probably the unit that seems like the most prepared for the tournament, with a roadmap, with calls, different executions. We've seen a lot of variations from the attack play coming from France. And of course, speaking of Team France, since they're the winner, of course, we will be having an interview. Last time it was Brams, but this time around we'll be having Soon with us, who arrives soon. And Soon was just a couple of seconds. So hello, Soon. Congratulations again. Toutes mes félicitations to say it in French. How do you feel? Team Italy gave you a run for your money, didn't they?
Hello, thank you, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I played the first match. I didn't play the second against UK, so it was a while when I didn't play with my team, and it was a slow start because the defense side is easier than attack side, and we won 7-5. That's not great, but still good. And they win like 10-8, so it was hard first, but thanks to Lux 9, he popped off and he gave us a lot of entry. That's a good feeling, so.
I guess the question I had is kind of like you said, you were in for the first game, you weren't in for the second. Is that just like an availability thing? Or is it, oh, we're playing split, let's get Soon in on the Sage. If we're playing another map, we'll drop him out, get somebody else in? Like, kind of what's the prep for France been like? Have you been practicing a lot? Have you got set, like, who's playing on certain rosters? Like, how seriously do you think France is taking this tournament? Being brutally honest.
Honestly, it's PM Sauce, Secret Sauce. He did the. We know every agent from every players, every map preference, and then PM is doing his work to fit the best for the team. For example, even on Split, it's my favorite map because I play Cypher on it, but thanks to Nilo, she's playing Cypher too, so like we play multiple agents. We are pretty flexible on the team, so that's the big strength of Team France.
Okay, so given that we already saw the performance of Team France on this map, to be specific, it was against Team Spain. I've been following you at the beginning of the game, and it sounded like you were struggling initially for the 5-6 first rounds to, put in some numbers. And one would have imagined that the timeout would happen. What were you talking about as a team in here? How were you able to pick yourselves up in order to re-dominate the game?
We don't really care about the stats. If someone is struggling, we have Brams who's hygiating and is making sure that we support him or her more. For example, if Nilo has some struggling on A with Cypher, we're gonna help more on A. So it's more like that.
Okay, then that answers my question soon. Thank you very much, and I guess we'll be seeing you soon for your next game.
See you soon, guys. Ciao, ciao.
All right, there we have it, Ryan. A pretty simple interview. The answers were pretty much clear. Team France is coming in with clarity of mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to hear the like PM's having good impact there, and seeing France and Turkey go into that game tomorrow undefeated is really exciting. But we still have one more game to go today. Team UK coming up against Spain. Should be a good one to finish on, so don't go anywhere.
Okay. Welcome back, Spike netizens, to the third part of tonight's show. So one last game remain before we draw the curtain on tonight's games. Interesting evening overall so far. We've seen quite the challenge on Pearl coming from Team Turkey. I'm very happy, very glad that the second game lived to my expectation and Italy did really give France a run for their money. I could already, feel the sweat, right? Like, oh my God, we're getting close. It might be overtime, right?
And then somebody called overtime and then it fell apart. So you can blame the casters for that one.
Of course. God bless his soul. God bless his soul. Hopefully that wouldn't be happening anymore. So rule number 1, never call OTs anymore. Let's avoid caster curse, shouldn't we?
Lesson number 1, yeah.
So, moving on from that, a third game that everyone is expecting. Team Spain in here, coming up hot and strong after failing to win the 2 last games they played right here on stage on the Spike Nations. And let us remind you that they will be fighting versus Team UK, a team that started really well, right? Guns blazing, came in, winning that first game. It was complicated, definitely. Hitting a wall that was called Team France, and now looking to find a way towards redemption. A mix of quite the names to which were used in the beginning, since Valorant was unleashed on the world, and, well, many question marks in here.
Oh, for sure. I think for Spain, it's not only did they lose their first 2 games, the most rounds that they have got so far is 3. So it's not really the strong aspective side you really expect to see. Like, I think Mixwell's been watch partying all of this. He's got like 5,000 people. Probably going to go up now, seeing as like there's the Spain team playing now. But I think for UK, I'm kind of worried about them in this game because I think Spain is clearly like putting the effort in. And I think that they at least got the 2 hardest teams out of the way first, the 2 teams that are undefeated. Spain have dealt with them. Was it embarrassing? Sure. But this week is the one that counts. It's whether they actually make top 4 and make the semi-finals or not. I think for the UK, this is one that they need to win to keep their lives afloat, honestly, because they still have some tough games to go.
Exactly, and winning this game means that you need to choose the right turf, meaning the right map, in order to assert dominance on your opponent. So, excited to see which map they will pick. I mean, we don't have enough time to discuss the bans, the strategic choice, and so on. We also don't have enough history here to talk about. And, oh my God! Okay, Haven. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
I think we're getting like a good mix of them.
That's a map I didn't expect, right? Not on a best of 1, at least. Yeah. Not on a best of 1.
I think it's kind of like in the same camp as Ascent and Lotus. Like Haven, yeah, maybe on the fringe. I didn't expect to see Bind before Haven, that's for sure. But this is kind of a map where the players are kind of allowed to frag out a little bit more, to go for fights, to go for duels. Really, for Spain, I just want to see Toki play. Toki is so good to be a 6th player that I think that introducing her as like another duelist opportunity is potentially something that Spain could deal with. For UK, I just want to see them stop inting, to be honest. I don't think they'll mind me saying, like Lewis especially. I think there were some rounds on Ascent when they played Germany that they kind of let go of some big advantages, 5v3s. And I think towards the end on Bind against France, that they were just peaking and going for fights and losing them. And against like the structured playstyle of France, it was looking embarrassingly easy for France to deal with those situations. So I think I just want Team UK to kind of keep their cool here, to really come into this one with a huge desire to win and not to try and do too much individual stuff if it doesn't work out, to be honest. Because I think Team UK on paper should be a top competitor in this tournament, but already getting battered by France, I want to see them really try to keep that structure together a bit more. And Toki is looking to be playing, so I'm happy.
Yeah, and I want to bounce back on a point that made me make that suggestion about Haven. You were speaking about Team UK not complicating things on Haven. So we all know that Haven, as simple as it is quite the ruthless and difficult map to master. Especially, on the defense side, you gotta be making some calls. So here the experience will be handy to Team UK, especially that considering that these players have been playing on top level, at least the majority of them. So looking at things, Haven is a difficult map to approach, and you cannot just team roll your way through it, which leads me to believe that it's a map to be avoided if you don't have a team that's completely and fully prepared for it. And speaking of preparation, it seems to me that our casters in here are ready in the green room, right? Getting heated up for the next game, the final game of tonight. And I'll be throwing the ball to Haza and, of course, X-Warrior, as they will be taking the mic away.
I don't know, as my room looks a bit blue to be a green room.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't see
funny you
walls,
say
to be
that,
honest.
actually. Yeah, I should probably go back there and flick that onto something else. But here we go, right? We flip through the channels. We're on the main event, right? The final game that we've got today. Team UK, Team Spain. Not been the best of competitions for either of them so far, I think it's fair to say. And with 5 days to think about what we've seen and go back and look at Mixwell with his head in his hands, what are we going to get from Spain here today, Pavlos?
I mean, that's what we're hoping for. I mean, not Mixwell in his hands. We are hoping for Spain to actually come back here, because I think that we had a lot of expectations for them, right? There was an anticipation that Spain would be one of the biggest contenders in this tournament, and they've pretty much disappointed. I think it's not far off from saying that they've had some rubbish performances, and I think the moment that they start to trail behind, they just seem to give up. So I want to see them coming to this week rejuvenated with a different mindset, sort of in nothing to lose attitude. Just give it your all, try and have fun, and go for fights, and don't give up.
Yeah, I think you can look at a few of the Spanish organizations that were in VCT last year and say that, yeah, sometimes culture can certainly be a big aspect as to what the team vibe is really like. But as you say, they've had a bit of time now to reset. That is a big point to mention. Of the 3 players that had a registered VCT International League game played last year, only one of them is currently still signed to an organization that is playing in EMEA, and that is Fatinho. And I don't think we've really seen as much from him as a lot of people would have been expecting. When you're talking about duelists, it's players like Lux9 that are popping up instead. I mean, hell, even Leosin had a pretty good game earlier. Bipo on Italy, like he needs to throw his name in the ring, I think.
Yeah, and especially the previous match against Turkey, up against Izzy, he couldn't really find much. Yeah, we really are lacking from Fatinho, and I think he's just enjoying his vacation a little bit too much right now, between the previous VCT season and the next. But hey, you know, he might have warmed up a bit. Maybe he's realized what competition he's got against them and won't want to do his country well, what's the word I'm looking
misfortune,
for?
Right? He wouldn't want to do them wrong, I guess.
Doesn't want to do his country wrong, and deserve a better score than 13-2 against Turkey.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, I'm pretty sure Fatinho, you know how you have like Mixwell is supposed to be the godfather, the father, the grandfather that you said.
We've called him everything.
You know, he's rapidly sort of going through their phases of aging by watching the team play in Spike Nations. The grey hairs perhaps coming out a little early there. Jokes aside.
I know they call grandfather... Go ahead, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, pretty sure Fatinho is then supposed to be known as like the prodigal son, basically, of Spanish Valorant. Like, in comparison, that is the sort of mantle that he holds. So I am looking forward to him ripping some stuff up here. And you look at the lineup to talk about Team UK for a moment here as well. We've got Scarlet coming back in. I think, like we mentioned, team culture is really important. Something that Pal was giving her a lot of credit for when we saw in the show match process as well, was the sort of positive energy that she brings. He described her as a bundle of joy, and I think that's you know, something good to see on the UK side. If they can keep in high spirits, then perhaps they'll be a little less trolling this time.
Absolutely. I know the Team GB have come in with a sort of we're better than all these guys. We'll probably lose a game here or there, but we'll win. And I hope that now that they've already lost the game, they'll be coming into this matchup with a bit more beef into the matter. But we've got the Asian Select coming ahead of us. Remind me the map. We're seeing Haven, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is going to be Haven. So Spain off the bat, playing that default Haven comp that we've come to expect. You know, there's been a few deviations recently, and I know quite a few of the Game Changers teams like to play double controller with Euroman and Viper. And on the UK side, they've doubled up in the initiation department. So, or at least I should say, they've foregone the Sova and picked the Sky for Solcas instead, which I think is a better pick for him personally, and can probably offer a little bit more in terms of what Scarlet's going to have to go forwards. You miss out on your recon. You know, when you send the recon back site, you have the nice combo utility with the smoke to try and find a revealed player. But other than that, clearing is going to be pretty good for them.
And we also see Fatinho foregoing the duelist role and actually dropping to the Sentinel and allowing Toki to come in to her prime position to see what she can do in that very important role. See if she can pop off. Now, for Toki, we know that she can be very hot some games, right? That she can do a lot of good work. And Ryan has said in the past that she's basically single-handedly taken his own team out of Game Changers. So she has the capability of doing a lot of work, or we just want to see if today is going to be her hot day or cold day.
Yeah, it's like another Kase player that I bring parallels with would probably be Hyber, a player who sometimes has a crazy performance statistically and others just sort of goes missing and goes under the radar. This is a fantastic opportunity, and I cannot state it enough for Toki to, you know, solidify herself as one of those players that can seriously pop off and deliver to the team. Just looking at some of the other roles as well, I mean, Vorwin used to be a Sentinel player when he was on Vamanos back in Polaris Split 1 earlier this year, so seeing him on the Sova as well, it's just even more depth to his agent pool, because we even had him down as being that anchor last time out on Lotus. He was playing the Viper instead. He was, you know, being that stalwart player inside the site, but we put all of that behind us now. Spain versus Italy, heading into it, the first haven of the tournament so far, with the Spanish team starting on the defense.
Let's get the show on the road. Spain versus UK, a match we've been waiting for, and a match that we hope that both of these teams will be showing their best possible selves. UK on the attack, Spain on defense, and it's the UK trying to take some advantage over this right-hand side. I'm actually very curious of this triple player set up towards B, perhaps anticipating a B crunch, but no such play will be happening.
No, I like the setup. You've got your fault line prepared, and there are two players ready to activate off that stun. Little weaker for the leaky Spanish defense so far on the A side of things, because it is just the Killjoy. But Vitinho has managed to disengage brilliantly here. It's a 5 versus 5 heading into the retake.
Toki, good first opener, but instantly traded by your boy Lewis. But look at your boy Lewis starting to frag! That is incredible! And I mean, starting to frag, he finished fragging as soon as he started, and he ended up with 4 kills. When did that happen?
Man, whenever this guy has a pistol in his hands is when he looks at the best. Right, tap, tap, tap. 3 kills, Bob's your uncle. Lewis is the headshot king.
And the reason Team UK isn't Team England is because of your boy Lewis. Yeah. Really representing Wales right now.
Again, doing a favor for the neighbors, as he puts it. But wow, I don't know. I feel like whenever I cast this guy, he has a highlight clip for us. So I'll be taking that PayPal later, mate. But no, that is insane from him, honestly.
Spain so far getting a kill in response isn't too bad. The fact that they've stacked up so many players, they might be trapping Scarlet here. And they have indeed taken her down. So that's a potentially couple of rifles that can be picked up for Spain. And the fact that it's a 3v3, I wouldn't call this round over yet.
No, you'd be naive to, certainly. I think coming into this one, the fact that the Team UK won the pistol as well on attack side Haven, it's good, you can get the ball rolling. But you also want to make sure that you're keeping those weapons coming out of this. And Vitinho with a Vandal in his hand already, looking a bit dangerous, but Spain are really taking their time re-clearing through Garage. That spike is probably about halfway gone at this point in time, and still, they have not quite hit the neck of the site.
They really haven't. And the spike has started ticking just a bit quicker. Aftershock to delay the first stick. Paranoia to enable the shooting from Lime. The only player on the team of UK right now with not a rifle. And this round's going to be over. I think Vitinho's going to be happy with saving a Vandal. But that's 2 rounds consecutive for UK with only a couple of casualties.
Yeah, rifle kept, and the ultimate orb kept out of the hands of Team UK from Yuri as well. They're sacrificing themselves to the spike and for the cause. In terms of rifles...
For the good old cause.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
But looking at the weaponry here, Team UK, surprising that Scarlet's going to be the player on the Sheriff as the duelist, not given an opportunity to sort of dash in on the rifle, perhaps. Lewis not opting to go for that. Early info, it's Toki instead, the Jet player on the offensive, with the Vandal trying to get things started here, and that she will, helping a damage onto Lewis. Is it worth the follow-up? Thinks better of it.
I do love how Lime likes to play aggressive so far. not afraid of taking fights, but Vitinha will be happy Lime swing that, because that's a freebie for Spain. And numbers advantage for them.
Yeah, Team UK haven't really collected too much space at this point in time, and Toki will be looking to re-clear a main. Scarlet holds onto it. What a headshot from her, but one only softens the blow. It's a 3 versus 3, and from this point, actually, Team UK looking pretty strong. That refrag from Link is going to go a long way. Smoke garage, perhaps Lewis seeing if he can catch rotation. Instead, he's the one spotted, but wins the fight against Vitinho.
I can hear your boy Lewis talking in comms right now. I'm just better. But no, Nick Sereno, make sure he's no more. So enough of that. 2-1-2. And the fight is close.
Yeah.
Neither of the teams can really afford losing this one, actually. Spain more than the UK, as they don't really have any funds remaining in their pockets. Dolcast with one line, Flash doesn't affect him, but Yuri gets the kill nonetheless, and so does Nick Sereno. Both players of Spain win their particular fights, and that means that Spain get a round on the board.
Yeah, that was an interesting round, trimmed around the edge until we grind to a 2 versus 2. And then with the paranoia hitting Link, his return of fire is ever so slightly out of place. The stun catches. And I mean, Soulcast had a perfect off angle, really, to take that fight. Wasn't flashed whatsoever, but Yuri is a little quicker on the trigger. And with those two under their belt, it's going to be Spain on the board. So good for them. They already have a third of the most rounds they've found in a game so far.
That is true. That is true. So they had 3 rounds in their first match, 2 rounds in the second one. And if they get a second round here, it will mean that the curse is over and they can't keep making things worse for themselves. Your boy Lewis and Soulcast are no more. And as quickly as that. And Spain have a really good hold over this A site. Look at Lime, though. What can he do? They know he's here. He's spotted out the weapon, though. He knows where Forwin is, but Forwin swings and catches him off guard. Yuri there to hold the line. It's a flawless round from Spain to equalize the field.
They must have heard what I said, man. I felt bad for saying it, and that is the prime example.
They took it personally.
These guys are no bums. They know what they're doing, and Toki's inclusion, if it wasn't something to get excited about on paper, in practice it plays out exactly the same. 2 fantastic kills to kick things off, and well, Spain can hold on to the site with the numbers from that point, right? It's sort of like a 3v3 on the site itself before the rotation's called. And Team UK are going to have to settle for a half buy if they want anything to do with this one.
Yeah, a couple of rifles here and there. Scarlet and Link to try and do the heavy lifting. Again towards this A site. I'll try spotting out Scarlet. She drops back. Toki to be challenged. Oh, your boy Lewis comes out on top with the Sheriff. Your boy Lewis really wants this win, doesn't he? But at least Forwin puts him to his grave. And he does the same for the following players of Team UK. No one shall pass when Forwin is standing and Spain get a 3rd round.
And it all started with a kill on Lewis. Former competitors, and goes one better than the 4K that we saw to kick this game off. Forwin hits flow state, hits his stride, and hits all 5 UK players right between the eyes. Brilliant stuff.
Bro, Forwin was in a trance.
Seriously. And the movement had me in one as well, strafing left and right like some kind of a tango. I really don't know. I think that would probably be the most fitting with it being a Spanish player. But I mean, yeah, even looking at this here as well, UK have managed to buy up. I was thinking that with the Vandal, if Scarlet got any interaction, we would get a Blade Storm come through, but we won't. Instead, early Hunter's Fury, bit of chip, but that is all.
Now, Team UK, they've really leaned towards his right-hand side, try to make noise in the middle of the map, try to keep defenders busy in that direction. Toki in an off angle, still sticks by, although punished, and Forwin is called to action. Ace the previous round. Trailblazer doesn't check him. They have no clue. They don't check him.
Wait.
And your boy Loose won't look either. Oh, Forwin, this could be a brilliant round for him yet again. Your boy Lewis realizes his mistake, has to drop back and deal with him once again. This time he snaps onto his head, and this is UK's round for the taking. Unless Yuri can do something about it as soon as the smoke subsides, your boy Lewis taking it all personally and wants to keep Team UK on top. Nixirino on the case, but he's all the way behind, and he's up against 3.
I mean, if you could pull this one out the hat, then things are looking a whole lot better for Spain, but you have to feel that Vorwin could have got a little bit more from that position, or that they would have at least expected it with the smoke. Link anticipates the flank this time.
Link is like, who's flanking who?
To rest. Yeah, just to go back on the point I was making there, like, this is a very standard setup for your defensive team to be putting that dark cover in that position, making it difficult to either take a fight towards graffiti, backside short. It makes life a whole lot more difficult. So with the Trailblazer not clearing, yeah, that's the window of opportunity, but an already low HP Soulcast that was caught by the same Hunter's Fury earlier in the round is probably not what you wanted to walk away with.
Just want to point out, your boy Lewis was 9, and the next in Team UK has got 2 kills.
Man. Lewis is certainly one of those players who like has a pop-off game, but he can also be falling ill to the hot and cold kind of syndrome, you know,
True.
because he is such a sharpshooter. And we spoke about the statistics before, 39% headshot across the last 2 months,
Not too
puts
bad.
him 8th in the whole of EMEA.
Oh, really?
Or I believe it might be like top 4 EMEA or something like that.
Wow.
It is ridiculous, right? This guy just consistently has been hitting heads. But if you're not hitting heads, then you're not hitting anything at all. So it is feast or famine at times for Lewis. But
Pro doing
I mean,
him dirty.
this is a vintage for sure. He won't mind.
Yeah. But this time around, giving attention to Garage. Alarm bot there. They'll probably be looking to break it. Very usual position for that alarm bot to be in. While a couple of players entertain the idea of splitting the C site. Oh, Fatinho, gorgeous shot, doubles up. Scarlet denies a triple. And now needs to move into Garage quickly to help out the rest to take over the C site. They do so without her assistance, but Scarlet, without crossing to the site quick enough, might be a victim to Yuri's shooting. Instead, gets the spike down in time, and we're looking at a 3-on-3, with Toki having a little bit more time until she gets into the line of action.
Yeah, it's aftershock over the head, shock dart past the cheek. Util starting to come in, and it's Toki with the blades to try and engage something of her own. One straight to the forehead of Lime, and now Soulcast in a 1 versus 3. Both players already taking quite a bit of damage. Tucks to the corner, gets stunned up and stunned, then some, but still hits the shot, and it's still in with a chance that Vorwin will strip away from him and denies UK taking the lead, snatches it for himself, Spain in front.
I feel like it's Vorwin on one side and your boy Lewis on the other, kicking and screaming at each other, trying to see who has most impact. This is amazing. Absolutely brilliant.
And that's like prime example number A, point in case, about buffing the stun, because I don't know how Solkaz with a breach shot, a rolling thunder, and a fault line put on him. Apparently, well, they just don't stack. They don't stack. And there we have it, right? UK down by 1, but buying back in for another.
Toki knows that. Players are approaching. Takes a wide angle, even though there's a one-way smoke, but still survives, but not to the aftershock eventually. That is mad. How did she survive for so long? But still,
yeah,
this round is not over, and Team UK have got a clear advantage.
Some strong entries. It's that kind of position, though, where you worry a little bit, and I was thinking it's a situation where you benefit from having the Sova player on your team, because you can clear out backside. Scarlet in the smoke, she has the info. It's a much cleaner duel to be taking, but matters not in this scenario. Solcas holding down the rear, and it's a 4 versus 2, so with the paranoia thrown on top, Vorwin shouldn't be getting out unless Nixirino can do some good work for him, and it's not going. 4-4, UK immediately restore that balance.
I feel if 4-1's alive, UK can't sit comfortably, no. For sure. So they do guarantee a round, so they are on equal footing with Spain, and have denied Spain of any opportunity of gaining momentum this half. Well, some impactful ultimates have been enabled for them this time around. The Rolling Thunder and the Lockdown as well.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how Team UK are going to implement this because, you know, in a team you build your ultimate rounds, those rounds where you have ultimates that you're happy to use, what the overarching strategy is going to be. Right now it seems that this C one-way is enabling Team UK to get their hands on the orb, get their hands on some early control, stop Spain from taking challenges. But they haven't worked towards A, and that's where typically you would see the lockdown invested.
Yeah, instead we're seeing heavy presence towards C. Link spotted the movement. He must have, because he's relaying that information to the rest of the team, causing rotation. Soulcast ends up with a double headshot collateral. And instantly, UK have a chance to enter the site without any more trouble. But of course, Forwin's alive. And while he's alive, anything can happen for Spain. Toki finding one, but it's to the cost of a teammate's life. 2v3 lockdown now planted. No messing around here.
Oh, Toki for one more. This is the other situation you would have been thinking about. A lockdown to consolidate the pose plant. Fatinho walks in the front room. A nasty surprise.
30 seconds left.
But Lime can just about keep them afloat. A 1 versus 1. Toki is low. Lime is thinking about it, but could turn his head. No. Resolute in position. And that puts Team UK in front.
Very smart from Lime to think that Toki had the time to rotate all the way around to spawn. So that's going to give UK the lead. And while they do use a lockdown, the juggling of ultimate seems to be working out nicely for them because now they've got Seekers available too. Timeout for Spain. They've lost a couple of rounds in a row. I don't know. What's the call here? Stop over peaking?
I really don't know, to be honest, Pavlos, because it feels like they are getting those early advantages, like you say, so maybe a bit of overpeaking an issue. I guess for them there, it was just about collecting that information. When you have Forwin, you should be, you know, sending a recon to collect. And yeah, you have the jump strafe as well, and I think Nixerino knew that there were players coming up long. But how on earth they've both funneled into Solkas's crosshair and he's found that double entry, I have absolutely no idea. Just looking at the cameras here, Vorwin seems to be leading this discussion, and Lucas Rojo, the former Casse coach, is deep in thought listening to it. On the UK side of things,
it's your boy Lewis.
Yeah, it seems to be your boy Lewis with Pal deep in thought. I mean, he was IGLing focused the entirety of last year, your boy Lewis, for those who don't know. And a lot of credit, I think, has to be given to how far they were able to push such a strong Apex team in the end. When you consider that this is his first time in that role, he'd played Initiator a little bit, sort of moving into that. He hadn't been, you know, he'd been on Duelist the entirety of his time on the old Focus team that played in DAC. So,
yeah,
a complete shift, but one that looks to be paying off.
Against Enzo so closely, giving him such a big run for his money and doing such a grand job. Only barely coming second right in a couple of occasions.
Yeah. But then again, you know, the experience that Enzo brings can't help but make you excited for what Team Liquid have cooking up this next year.
Oh, don't get me started. That roster looks sick.
I feel as if I may be opening a can of worms, or more like one of those silly snake cans where it pops out and it goes on forever. We could talk about that roster for hours, but
yes, we can.
It's a very slow round here from Team UK on their attack. Claim a little bit of space towards A. There's the recon I was speaking about from Vorwin. They're looking for another C finish, and it's been a good look so far.
Now swarm to the side to deny any back positioning from Nixerino. Aftershock as well to the side. Paranoia is actually really good. It blocks all of the players from entering. That's going to be a TP to the back. Ends up with one. Is it good enough? Has it bought enough time? I think it has, because look at the back of the side. Toki, Fatinho are all there, ready to defend, and there's not much time either. Hunter's Fury to close the deal, and in a matter of instances, it is Spain to come out on top with only one casualty.
Yeah, really nicely played there by Spain. They rotate in as well. That dark cover from Nixerino holds the line a little bit longer. This TP is crazy. For a moment, I didn't think that Scarlet had realized he had moved into the corner, but with the paranoia, you somewhat expect it, right? They come hand in hand, the way that Omen utility plays. It's quite fluid. But that is one of the situations where you do get value from having that smoke down. And they flood the retake brilliantly. Such an important round to win on the eco, because now UK have to dig deep into the coffers to try and find something. It's Lewis on a Sheriff, but we already know what Lewis on a Sheriff's like.
It's really greedy that Toki sticks around here. Obviously knows the smoke will deteriorate any second and drops back. Keep your crosshair there, Toki. Right side, you might be getting a kill. The UK patient. Oh,
I was just about to say, if Forwin's drone goes a bit further, he could be funneling that information straight from your comms into the server. She's trying the wall bang onto Scarlet the opposite way, but nothing picked up just yet.
Time. See if he can turn any attention towards him. Having a sentinel flank on this map is we're no strangers to that, at least.
No.
But this time, Lime actually has a buddy with Solkas. And they do enter garage. They gain a lot of space, so that's going to keep Spain a little bit busy. And they've kept in the dark towards that A site. So it's forced off some rotations. This fake might have worked if Toki would have moved out of the position, but she hasn't. She does miss the first shot, and she solidified the second. Wow. She does. And now, Forwin is in the fight. Toki enabling the blades, and he's even more troublesome. Link delivering. Toki's even better! And Spain stopping UK in their tracks on their attempt to take this A side, all off of the shots from Toki. And that is going to be the round putting Spain in the lead.
Toki, take a bow. That is absolutely fantastic. A player who has been on Kase for a while now, I think the last 2 years or so. One of the few players which has been through multiple iterations of that roster. And proving her worth in this environment. I mean, what a stage and what a way to step up to the plate. The blades, the op, it all comes together. And for Team UK, yeah, they tried to sell that fake towards the C side of the map, but Spain just hold their positions and they read into it absolutely brilliantly. You're always going to want to keep your operator towards the opposite extremity when you don't have that kind of information, so well held down by Toki.
Mixerino pulls back. Scarlet
double upset
in the smoke. It is, but is it helping out at all? I don't think so. Lime doubles up. Toki to the back of the site. Not much she can do there. UK explosive with their take, overwhelm the long distance weapons. And with Lime's Quadra, we'll be seeing a 6-6 score, as close as it could be at halftime.
Yeah, nice idea. Final round of the half, got a little bit of extra credit. Let's put and hop, one watching along, one watching the garage cross and walk up. But before Nixerino even has a chance to swap to his Vandal, UK have exploded onto the site, and a couple of missed shots is all the difference that is made in between a 7-5 and a 6-6, really, if you look at it. So Team UK not finding as many rounds as they would have hoped for, but this is where Spain should be coming to life on their attack. Toki leading things right now, 13-9 for her team, and in the server as a whole. Vitinho, usually the dual list player, will be going walkies, I think it's fair to say.
Will be going walkies? Yeah.
So much freedom on a map like this. It's my favorite map in the game. I don't know about you.
Is it really?
It's a classic, man.
It's a good map. I wouldn't call it my favorite.
Suits Valorant so well, honestly.
It does. I think so too.
The macro game, chef's kiss.
Toki to the back of sight already. Nice little dink. That's going to make your boy Lewis a little bit more concerned and less confident to take the push. Finds a gap from the aftershock. Mistake your boy Lewis doesn't make often. Ends up with a kill, though. So Toki wanting to punish. Spain looking to run right after the British players. And Link taking a while to arrive. Lime trying to open things up towards the other side of the site, but can the rest of the Team UK respond from the other end? Yes, they can. Lime with a shot. Still, it's a 3v3, and the players from Team UK are dropping low. Still, they find their shots. In the smoke, Spain comes out victorious, but Link is still remaining, and he doesn't have much health on him. It's actually 1 HP to the point, and it's Vitinho with a final kill to put Spain on top for the second pistol of the game.
Yeah, brilliant work from Spain there as well. And you're just seeing the confidence that Toki has flowing through her now on the attacker side. I don't want to sort of bend this whole conversation to be the Toki show, but you have to remember the situation that Spain were in before. They already have more rounds combined than the last 2 games that they played. So a little bit of fresh perspective, having this duelist come in and sort of be enabled to play the Valorant that she wants to play is looking really good. You know, give her a frenzy, let her cook, and there we have it, 7-6.
Players going for walks. Having players cook. What else are we going to see?
It's too cold to be cooking anything outside.
Big Brother
right now,
show,
Pavlos,
all in one map. I mean, there's no Cypher really to have any cameras around. Oh, 4-1.
Yeah.
Spots out your boy Lewis, randomly sitting in a corner.
Lewis is no stranger to walking down mid on a round. He has made it work before. Finals versus S2G was a 4K, I think. Just peeking out of double doors. And yeah, this is a round where you can afford to give away that kind of aggression, right? Go for something a little more off-piste. But nothing so far. Lime without his teammate. It's the 2 form of Fish 123 boys. And Scarlet to haul this one over the line, or at least make it look difficult along the way.
Good smoke, good timing of it. Recon feels the intent. Hot shots not connecting. Entry is all for Spain.
Simplistic enough, right? Walk in the site, plant the spike, win the round. That's an explanation worthy of an XDDD in Mixwell's chat, I'm pretty sure. But here we go. Spain holding on to this one, not looking like they're going to be throwing away anything. No cause for concern in this kind of a position. UK waiting for an overpeak of sorts before they invite themselves to take these duels.
Recon. Well, I could call out as many utility names as I want. This round isn't getting easier for UK at this moment, given how many weapons they're up against. And they are running out of time, so they got it out quickly, but they are just really looking to weight down this clock. Perhaps maybe to die to the explosion of the spike. Find some players to kill right at the end. Sokas does that, he achieves it. He had a very nice number of health points, but he had to break his knees at the end to destroy that. Damn it. Anyway, 8-6, and Spain have gathered a 2-round lead.
Yeah, Spain have got things going here pretty nicely. And look, we could be seeing a similar story to what we had in that first game of the day, right? Where you have a decent half from Germany. They look like they're sort of getting into the game. And then it's a tale of 2 halves. And Turkey completely take it away from them as things carry onwards. If UK can't pick up a result here, going 1-2 and joining Spain in the same scoreline, that's, you know, not going to be a great look, because suddenly this competition is blown wide open. Spain being one of the few teams I think people had coming in, a popular choice, but now quite the contrary, showing us something completely different here. And it has been a marvel to watch, but Scarlet getting the first will make this bonus a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, Spain have completely turned it all around, haven't they? The expectations at the start, knowing the capabilities of all these players, but now able to breathe, having the lead here with potential to take over this round. Duck cover, allowing the push from Nixaringa to a higher level, but Lime reads it in time. And there's also assistance to the back of the site. Yuri delivers Scarlet a little bit overzealous with that peek, and there was no assistance there from Lewis. Now he's come in, and Spike can't go down as easily. Paranoia into their faces. Blind as bats as they are, UK clean up, and only Scarlet they lose by the end of that round, giving them the victory and closing up the gap to Spain.
Yeah, Spain could probably do with an injection of pace on that kind of round. You know, Nixarino has a fantastic position, but just fluffs the lines a little bit. Didn't quite get it from paper to mouth. And yeah, it's tough. But as soon as Lime finds that, you have players in position, Lime being the anchor, and simply enough, they can take it. But this is now the gun round. You've got a couple players on low credits, less than 2k, even seeing Lime on a big fat 0. No ultimates in play either. Should be that raw, hard-hitting Valorant that we love, Pavlos.
Yeah. Sometimes people prefer it to having a lot of ultimates to cast, so this is going to make things a little bit simpler for us, I guess. But it does mean that UK or Spain have less utility to take upon the site and for this attack.
Asking some early questions too. Alarmbot dealt with in Garage, but Scarlet holding this deep line is a difficult position. The drone will spot it, so Spain can at least re-clear lobby, and like you say, must give up this position, but they don't look set on executing here just yet. Nixerino hanging away from the rest of the pack gives you alternative options in the late round, especially with that from the shadows in their pocket. Spain look to be doubling down. They're moving in, but so are UK. A rotation from Soulcast and a flash to confirm presence.
Really good read from Team UK. 3 players stacked up here.
30 seconds left.
Trailblazer will confirm their suspicions. Push coming in from Toki. Scarlet to the side. As a cloudburst disperses, doesn't even come down to that. Scarlet is victorious with a kill. Nixerino does have from the shadows, so he could TP if he has to. So he's keeping presence into that garage. 13 seconds. Time is ticking, but the entrance towards B is successful for Spain.
Yeah, I mean, plan B, you might call it, feels more like a plan C. A set of bad options comes up. The spike is down. The round's already over. Soulcast might look to win it out on frags, and Nixerino can get a couple consolations. There's only one player left standing to tell the tale, which will be Link. But yeah, they just left it far too late. Didn't fully commit to the A play after the stun. Caught out Toki on spot. And while I said that Nixerino sort of offered them that second dimension to it, it wasn't the move through Garage onto C. Instead, you know, they went for the B play. And heading B that late in the round is always going to be damaging.
Beautiful flash from Soulcast, actually. But yeah, that's the timeout. That's the call. There were a few things that were questionable in that round in its entirety. Mostly running down the clock so late, but also the decision-making on pulling the trigger on these pushes. And so they're definitely going to have to be thinking this through, how they're going to be approaching the next ones. Yeah. They did have a lead, but now they've given it all away, so they're going to have to rebuild. And going 0-3 in Spike Nations isn't exactly what Team Spade had in mind entering this tournament.
Certainly is not. They would be joining Germany in that state. Another game which we've got upcoming. I have to say, in terms of camera quality, Lucas Rojo is up there, right? With Karina we saw the other week on Germany. And yeah, waving his hands around a little bit as well, gesticulating to his team. Whether they can see him or not, I actually don't know. But looks like a majestic beard for the viewers at home.
So it is a pistol round from Spain, but for a moment there, I thought they were going to take a very aggressive stance towards this ace site. Instead, place Nixerino in enemy lines. Oh, hiya, that's going to be a Vandal pickup. Oh, never mind, Scarlet's there, stopping it, denying it. At least it's kept them busy. But it's opened up the map a little bit towards that left-hand side, but Spain aren't in a real position to take advantage of it.
Nah, they won't be following this one up anytime soon. You can't trade Nixerino's position either. So no weaponry gained, it's just a set of sheriffs that have to get underway, but it's Lewis and Soulcast to hold it down. Vitinho isn't getting anything done here. And the UK take the lead for themselves now off the back of that Spanish timeout.
It's what you expected from that round, to be fair. I mean, not much available for Spain. Nice valiant effort from Nixerino to get that early frag. The story of that round could have been very different if he ended up surviving with that rifle and being a nuisance to that back line. But no, he didn't manage to succeed to keep himself alive in that one. So that round did have to come to an end to allow UK to find the lead eventually. 3 rounds in a row for them. And this has built up an amount of ultimates that will be very useful for their retakes and holds of the 3 sites they've got in control.
Yeah, it's early presence towards Garage. Maybe trying to deal with the alarm bot, but there's nothing there this time around. It is a turret and a nano swarm, which will soften up Toki. easy for Lime to be taking in that situation, but now plenty of pressure put on. Scarlet's position could be left overlooked, however, and she would be the ace in the hole. Still holding on to this angle, but as soon as she arrives on the scene, that will spell out the demise of Spain. Only Fortinho remaining in a 1 versus 2.
Doable. Can read it in Fortinho's face. It's go time. Trailblazer can't catch up. May have spotted the back of Fortinho for a little bit. So Team UK not really over-eager to take any chances, because Scarlet is holding down the line of sight for the spike. And there you go, 3 kills to her name. And that's double digits for UK in a round where Spain was hoping to have their comeback.
Yeah, miss a shot there, and it's the last mistake you'll ever make. Fortinho not quite hitting the heights just yet. And it's a difficult clutch to try and win as well, because you consider the positioning of Soulcast sitting deep. If you find that pick, then suddenly Scarlet, with the amount of time left, has to be concerned of the flank. But from this position, far too comfortable. And the fact that she's able to get the op all the way down C long at the start of the round there, knowing what Spain have been doing in mid and A lobby, was a brilliant adaptation.
Oh, proactive Hunter's Fury. Paranoia was well placed, but no one's going to be following up on it. Does do damage to his own teammate, but ends up with a kill instead. So the exchange of Hunter's Furies allows Spain to come out on top. Thankfully for them, because they at least have have advantage in numbers, because the weapons aren't doing them any favors.
I mean, look, you can flash the guy with your Paranoia, but still, the Hunter's Fury will see you through walls. Lewis on an aggro angle, spots a couple heads over the top, finds the first, but the second fight not quite as clean. Still Soulcast on B, but he's the next to fall. Lime can hear the site crumbling around him as he looks to make his way through mid and get to work, but it's only a turret that'll greet him, and now a 4 versus 2 situation.
Lockdown placed. Serino looking at the right direction. Scarlet is no more. Lime is going to have to do it alone. He's already spent his lockdown, and there's money for the next round to be dropped. He's going to give it his all. He's going to give it a go. Successful on the first. 3 left. 3 very different positions. And with a Nanoswarm, it's going to make it so difficult. Down to a very nice point. Amount of health. But Toki is there to stop him. And Spain, at 9 rounds, don't allow Team UK to run away too far.
Yeah, Team UK must love that number. I don't know. First it was Soulcast, then it was Lime. And you just can't help to
I can't help myself but notice it.
And even in that situation, Scarlet can't help herself. Wants to try and take sort of the early space, but gets caught out before the lockdown goes. Cheeky little sidestep from Lime. It wasn't quite, you know, like a wide swing, but it was sort of somewhere in the middle, a strafe. Still not enough. 9 to 10. And UK on some choice weaponry. Guardian in the mix, but Scarlet has the op. That's most important. Link needs to do her a favor here and set up by getting rid of the owl drone. Will do so, but the window is far too thin to get anything done.
Ooh, Scarlet runs away, but there's 3 at the back of the site, and I think only 2 of them were affected. 13 points of health, but the shock dart will seal the deal onto Scarlet. But Spain realize they get a pick. They don't really need to engage anymore. They know they've caused rotations, so they're going to second guess themselves and think about their next steps.
That's a pretty decent eventuality there for Spain. You trade Rolling Thunders, so UK, that's one of their retake tools gone. The lockdown was expended in the previous, so it's all posturing towards an A finish here. It has to be. And that's the space that they'll take, but UK will have this information for themselves already. Soulcast holding the long angle and Link nestling himself in the C-long cubby. There is also Lime's utility that you have to be thinking about by the time they go for this hit. And with time dwindling, all sights set on the eastern side of the map.
I think Spain are lucky to not be jumping into an alarm bot straight away. Now, of course, as they enter the site, turrets will make UK aware of Spain's aggressions. But still, it's bought enough time, because Team UK have got a long way to go. Look how far Link is and how long it will take for him to rotate towards A.
I mean, Lime would love a pick here, but he's not going to be able to get it. There is so much utility still on the UK side, and they may just have to go in.
Yeah, they can't wait for Link anymore.
Yeah, they
have to go for the fight.
Break the lockdown. Lewis has everything available to him, already using the stun and the aftershock, but there's no tip to the spear. Solcas is just sat in heaven waiting for someone to show on the Spanish side, but nothing to be given. And that's us tied up at 10 apiece.
And during all that commotion, Link didn't even have time to approach the site.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit misjudged from Team UK there. And Spain will be gladly picking up a kill. I don't think Nixarino meant to die there. It could have been an important rifle, but it's double digits on each side, and this game is proving to be quite the close one.
Another drop in the puddle, I think you could say there with Nixarino at the end. But the bigger ramifications and the tidal wave that's starting to brew is this economy as well. Because UK, they sort of chanced it on the last one. There was a Guardian there for Lime, but it didn't really matter because you still had the Operator. Now you're swiping at a couple of rifles. There's a Blade Storm for Scarlet, so this round is going to look a lot better than it would typically. Excuse me. But early control A is a good look.
Scarlet holding an aggressive line onto short, realizing no one is present. Gives a call. Commotion in mid. And instead, Spain turned their attention towards this garage area. Dark cover to cover their tracks and window. And puts question marks on the map. But they haven't actually entered. And Toki instead is the first player to find a kill. So Spain in a really good spot, but Solcas is pushing, could cause trouble, and it does exactly that. Guiding Light to allow him to drop back, and I think he's been able to make away with this. It actually ends up with a second kill. Solcas, you're insane. Yuri finally challenges, but Scarlet is left alone to fend for this site. That's one kill. Dashes back, and is still alive, and buys time for her teammates to arrive, but it's going to take a while for them to get there. But look all the way around. Lime is approaching from the back line to assist. And now from heaven, Link is there.
It's brilliant work from Scarlet. Like a badger, she burrows into the hole with the sharp claws of the Blade Storm. Already tearing Spain apart, and now a 3v2. Nixarino on an island. No real feeling of comfortability about this one, other than the space, which Vorin has already afforded. But that is such a huge kill. And the spike is planted for them in this position. Or at least, no, I don't think it is. It's towards the other side of the box. Vorin has a shock dart, but that will not suffice against Scarlet. Has to drop down. HP even lower, and the clutch not there to match. 3 for Scarlet, putting UK back in the lead.
Look, it was a valiant effort from Spain. Even though the map seemed to be closing in on them, they did a great job to sticking around and to that final moment. And it even ended up being a 1v1. But of course, they couldn't really account that, well, they'll be playing off of heaven. And the spike wasn't quite in the right position to deal with that one. And it gives Scarlet the advantage to end up with another kill. But Scarlet, she had an incredible round.
Yeah.
Delaying, finding kill after kill, and even on the clutch, she had it all covered. So definitely the MVP of that one.
Yeah, and that's what you want from your Jet player as well, just being an absolute nuisance. The reason why she's such a strong agent is because you have that maneuverability, as will Link. Light on his feet and still good for 2. Punches in a couple kills, and Spain feeling as if the round's fallen flat, and we've barely got started. It is the controller lost, but they've traded it out for a breach and a killjoy.
Oh man, Link for a second looked like he wanted to show off for a bit. It's like, everybody else is having fun, I want some of it. For Spain, this is not that as fun as they would have liked. It is a 2v3. And Team UK are all nearby.
Scanning ahead.
Only one recon available after all. Whoa, what a swing. And it's a miss from Scarlet to spell her demise. Lime is there. Nixarino no more. And that's UK. Very well coordinated with the final 2 players. And they will be sealing the deal for a 12th round and a match point for them up against Spain.
Yeah, the Focus boys dial in the retake at the end and pull Team UK up to 12. One more round would be enough. And I just don't know, man. Link, the guy's absolutely bonkers. Rolling it back a little bit and showing people exactly why he's still such a capable player. I mean, was August the whole of this year on Le Petit Buffons, so wouldn't exactly have been in the sort of eyes of many, but still made playoffs, you know, and trialing for a few teams in the off-season, keeping himself about. But Spain, I don't know. It's felt like night and day from half to half for them here. I don't think we've seen anywhere near as much impact on Toki's Jet as we were. Scarlet, in stark contrast, has just been doing so many great plays.
Oh, that's very aggressive from Toki, finding some damage, and the fact that a lot of the players are fairly low, to be able to close it out eventually. Yuri with a double keeps things in favor of Spain, but Spike into no man's land is troubling, especially considering there's Soulcast all the way behind. There is an alarm bot that hasn't quite illustrated his position yet. Oh, but now it has. Okay. Well, Spain are wary of it, but what do they do with it? They know they're pincered in, and they're trying to take the fight towards Soulcast, whether they know there's only one player.
Yeah, the Spanish players find themselves in the Panopticon. Whether Soulcast is watching over them or not is a different question, and one which they're looking for answers. He has repositioned to Garage, and while they're down 3-4 from the Shadows is available, Spain can finish ultimately wherever they can find a site here. Because should be able to pick it up. And that's the expectation, that they're going to be landing somewhere, but instead they just retrieve it and carry on as they were. Left. It's going to be a re-hit towards this C site where most of the UK players are.
Not much time left. Lime could do a lot of trouble, but no, only good for one. What can Soulcast do? 20 seconds. He has to delay this. Stunned up. Oh no, this makes things matters worse. But they don't know he's here. The recon hasn't spotted him. He spotted out the barrel of a weapon, and nobody looks in this direction. Forward turns around in time, so it's down to Scarlet to do with an operator up against two.
Looking at the credits here, Team UK are not going to have enough to reinvest this weapon, so this is the choice you make, Scarlet. Do you want the weapon for the next? Or do you completely ignore the fact that it might be over and go for it? Looking at the spike plant, it is so regressive. You can get
She's going to stick it.
But you expect Spain to follow it up, and they will. Nicely done by Nick Sereno. We're going the full distance of regulation here.
Brilliant. Well, you can't blame Scarlet for giving it a good old try.
Yeah.
But that was Spain's round all over.
What the consequence of that actually ends up being, though, because there will be players on the UK side that aren't going to have the best set of guns. Yeah, there's a judge in there instead. From riches to rags.
Hey, come on. It's a judge. It's not bad.
It's true.
Especially in close quarters.
The same, but yeah.
No, it doesn't hit the same. It hits even better. When more pellets are flying at you,
yeah, true. More bullet equal better gun. That's why I love the Odin.
Right?
But
now we're talking the same language.
Yeah, here we go. I think, honestly, a win condition here for Spain is if Toki can get one entry and then get traded, that's fine. Right now, she's been struggling a little bit. The util is good for her, and UK are not even going to enable that pick on the site to be present.
We're looking at a 5v5 retake, and those tend to be quite epic. Your boy Lewis doesn't want to give any more time to Spain to set up here, but ends up trading his life. Was that an important kill to give out?
I don't think so. As I said, right, Toki's given up her life for the cause. You're missing the breach player coming into your retake. Yuri's already got the fault line back up. Link has full stuck
no way, no way,
and got uncleared. Hitting the front pages once again. A Spain are hit for 6. I do not know how UK have turned it around, but Link has pulled a blinder to put them up 2-1.
Defenders win.
From the shadows, Link appears. Spain did not expect that one bit. Let us be fair, neither did we. Neither did we. No. He came out of nowhere. Who just TPs in the middle of the site, sticks it, and nobody turns in his direction to shoot it? Maybe there was a bit of miscoordination in who would be shutting it down, but perfect timing. And if there's any moment you could have a clutch play like that, it's going to have to be the final moment of the game.
That's such a LAN TP, Pavlos. That is such a LAN TP. Like, oh, they can't hear me. The crowd's going crazy. The Spanish fans from their online setup. But now Spain 0-3. The possibility of the homecoming at Gamergy and making it to the live stage is looking pretty damned at this point in time, which is a shame to say the least. But I'm sure there's someone who might have a smile on his face talking about it. We'll pass it back to the desk, Moon and Ryan.
Thank you, Hazan. Thank you, X. And honestly, Ryan, this should be branded as an illegal move because this is the embodiment of theft. Link stealing away the game. An important point for Team Spain, who literally was anything but lacking. this match.
Yeah, I mean, they looked a lot better than the first two games than they had for sure. I think the UK started off really strongly. Like, the pistol was really nice from them. They were able to go into these, like, really good positions. I think they struggled to deal with Toki early on, like when she was getting the operated, she was playing from sewers, because we saw Team UK not playing with a Silver. You don't have a drone, it's hard to recon that position as well. So there's a lot of freedom for Toki there that she could take overall. And then there was just a good bounce back, I think, from Spain towards the end. Like, on their defense, they were slowing things down. They were forcing the UK into some really rough executes overall. And I think it's, again, like UK looking like they were the top team, a little bit sloppy in some places for sure, but having the individual moments from like Scarlet, Link at the end there, Lewis had a really good map overall too. It seemed that Team UK just had those individual moments in droves to bring this one across the line.
Clearly, and in all honesty and in all fairness, Toki just brought something that Team Spain has been lacking throughout the previous games. There was this drive, there was this aggressivity, there were these windows of opportunities that Toki was simply opening for her teammates, and in all fairness, Team Spain was able to capitalize on that. On the other hand, looking at how Team UK played, I don't know, there was a clear inconsistency at some points, and it literally took a Hail Mary on multiple occasions to recover a round or two. So I don't know, is this an impact from the lack of preparation, or is it just UK, I don't want to say this, but seemingly playing it YOLO style? Like, okay, we're just going in and let's deal with things how they happen, in the way they happen.
Yeah, I think it's pure like YOLO style to an extent. Like, all of these players want to make moves and make the plays. Like, there was a couple of ecos and stuff like that the UK lost like after Spain's timeout in the first half, and then most certainly towards the end, where your boy Lewis pushes mid, gets traded, and then it's sort of like a house of cards that falls down. So yeah, there were a couple of those like troll moments, as Pal put it, that we saw on Ascent for Team UK when they played up against Germany. But there were also moments where like they were able to sort of make up for any individual mistakes that they made, right? I also think that there was just some really good moments for Volwin as well. Like on the Silver, he had an ace against an anti-eco earlier on in the map, but also had some really nice recons for retakes, some clutches and stuff like that. Ultimately, it was a better performance from Spain, but Team UK were just good enough to eke it over the line.
Yeah, exactly. It took that valiant effort in the end, and again, Link appearing out of nowhere, stealing the round away. But of course, man of the match as he stole the round, but the MVP of the game is calculated differently, with impact, with numbers, and ladies and gentlemen, ya boy Lewis, as it's called, the Pride of Wales, steals away the MVP award with 21 kills to his name, 6 assists, and, well, okay, given the game, it wouldn't be a staggering amount of deaths, but still, an amount of deaths that one would consider, right?
Yeah, he had a lot of rounds where I think your boy Lewis kind of saved the day. Like, some corners were being cleared by Team UK, and Lewis was able to at least trade off of his teammates that go down. So it's the kind of solid performance that we expect from him. Again, you could certainly put Scarlet in there towards the end. She was having massive impact. But I think Lewis is an just winner for the MVP, for sure.
Yeah, clearly, especially impact-wise. I mean, you're playing a breach. You're already enabling your team to play offensively. Defensively, you're delaying so much, you're gaining so much time. And if you take a look at it, whenever your boy Lewis was in a pinch, you would delay his opponent so much that the rotation could happen. We only had, I think, one instance where Link was extremely far away and the retake didn't happen. And speaking of which, this would be my first time talking to Link, someone who bled blue for quite a while. So, hello Link, welcome. Hello. And congratulations on the win again. How does it feel like to be winning games with such close scores so far?
Oh, it's a bit of fun. Gets the heart racing. It's I haven't been able to play for like a while in like a competitive scene, so yeah, just playing again and just having some fun games, you know. Just it's just a bit of fun, really.
Yeah,
sure.
Fun. That's the name of the game, right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what was going through your mind with that, like, Owen play towards the end? Because you had a couple of moments where, like, you pushed up short, like, on sewers and tried to fight too and stuff like that. You were just having a couple of moments where you kind of went, like, screw it, I'm just going to go in and see what I can get. What possessed you to think that you could get away with that and then it ended that way?
You know what's so funny? Like, I'm a truthful person. I won't lie. So, I completely screwed it up. Like, I recently changed some like binds on my thing, and instinctively I've gone to press something. We're talking about like the Omen TP play at the end. Like, I completely screwed up. Changed my binds the other day. Instinctively pressed that bind, and I didn't cancel my TP, and I just sat there backside, and I was like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" And next thing you know, they just whiffing on me, and I just somehow killed two. But yeah, a lot of the plays before that are like more, I'm actually thinking, maybe switch sides, go short, blind on if they're coming out, if they're putting heavy pressure or something. But that last play with the Oma TP was a bit of a crazy one.
Okay, following
Happy
up
accident.
on that action.
Yeah.
Following up on that action, you'll probably like this question, Ryan. So, on the Richter scale, how much were you shaking right after that move?
Oh mate, I was 10. Like I had the mouse in the hand, and I was like, "Oh, what have I done?" You know what I mean? Like just I don't know, like facepalm moment, and then I don't know, but as long as we won, it's okay. Now I can sit here and laugh and go a bit red and be embarrassed about it, but yeah, as long as we won.
I mean, it worked out. I guess the question I had for you is like, what you played pretty well like as a team against Germany. Against France, you kind of got battered despite a bright start. Like today, you do well. Like what went wrong against France that you maybe tried to fix for today, if at all? Like whether you've been practicing or even talking about it. Like what went wrong against France that you wanted to work on going into the games this week?
Lux 9. He happened for France. Like that guy
Just a life game.
Just ruined us. I mean, he's been playing well throughout the entire thing, so like fair enough. But he just completely destroyed us. I mean, they're all good, so like what can what I mean? Like we don't bring our A game. They're obviously super good as well, so they just sort of owned us. But we just tried to just play as much as a team that looks like they've practiced, it's like a bit cohesive, as possible. That's what we're trying to do. Like for most of the games, just we've all played a lot. We're all experienced enough to know how to do certain setups correctly, or read the map correctly, or whatever you want to do in the games. So we just try and bring it and just play some decent Valorant. Except from the last round. The last round was a bit crazy, but yeah.
Might not have worked if it didn't go crazy, but congrats again.
Yeah.
Like you've got still some pretty big games against like Turkey and stuff coming up, so you're not out of the woods just yet, safe to say. But yeah, congrats for today and see you tomorrow.
All right, cheers, thank you. Bye.
And with that, we're concluding our last interview for tonight. So Ryan, I think that this last game took us maybe a little bit off foot. We weren't expecting Team Spain to be showing so much resistance, I believe, and although we did have a lot of time to discuss what was happening, on the UK side, I think that, Team Spain has showed a lot of growth throughout a tournament. And imagine if this team played in the same manner, right, since the beginning. Do you think they would be still trailing on 6th position with 0 wins and 3 losses?
I mean, they had like the devil's opening, I guess, right? Where you've got to play Turkey and France back to back, and there's a lot of pressure on you just because of the player base and the audience that, like, even Lucas Rojo himself brings to the table, never mind Mixwell and some of the players on this roster, right? So, yeah, I think there's a lot of expectation on Spain. The good news is that this week is a little bit easier. It was a promising showing against UK, and realistically, just winning those last 2 games against Italy and Germany should be enough to make top 4. It should be at that case. So UK, like, they still have like Italy and Turkey to play, so it's a little bit iffy for them still. I'd say overall, Turkey and France, as far as I can tell, should have locked themselves in the top 4 at the very least. I don't think there's any world where they can really not be in it overall. But I think still for the bottom 4, maybe outside of Germany, I think those 3 teams are still vying for those last 2 spots. And so I think Spain still has a chance here. It's about whether the UK and Italy can really keep that consistency and keep their heads above water.
This is also applicable for Germany as well, as they can still pick up whatever they lost throughout their journey, as there are still 6 points to acquire. But let me call it as it is. This sounds like a waltz of death for 2 out of the 3 teams that are still trailing on the bottom of the rankings. So I'd like to take the opportunity to thank again our sponsors, Alienware and Intelin here. Made this experience possible, of course. We've had some amazing moments overall throughout today's games, throughout last week's games, and one can only expect even more in the upcoming days, since the stakes are getting higher now. You know, it's not like the picture that you get at the beginning, like, okay, we're gonna engage this, it's a round-robin tournament, everybody can grab points, we can make mistakes, it's still forgivable, even if it's best of ones. But this is where we're nearing the end. This is where the curtain is about to fall. So what do we expect coming from those teams, especially the ones at the bottom of the ranking?
I mean, I think it's going to be a tough one for Germany. Like, they got some difficult games out of the way, and they looked a little bit better today. But still, it's still going to be tricky enough to get those 2 wins on the board with the last 2 games, especially now that Spain are looking a little bit more coherent. And well, France and Turkey are playing up against each other tomorrow, so one of them is going to be accepting a loss at the very least.
Clearly, who is going to be coronated the king of this stage? That's what we're going to discover tomorrow, the title of tomorrow's stream. I'll take the opportunity to thank Haza and X-Warrior again for their performance, and how can I forget Shrine in here with his insight and his attention to broadcast. It was a pleasure, my friend. And again, thanks to our viewers and to the production team, and let me wish you an amazing evening.
Celebration, celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Hey, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad in the corner of my class. Boy, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad. Oh yeah. Don't be mean. You're here all alone and you know it. We're gonna turn it up. Don't you see? I'm here all alone and I like it. Baby, don't please try to fight it. Pour it up with the blue champagne, blue champagne, blue champagne. Let's celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. All my feelings run away in a sip of all the colors. Celebrate with the blue champagne, blue champagne. I'm in Mexico. Celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Celebrate, celebration, celebrate, 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 celebration, celebrate. Hey, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad in the corner of my class. Boy, what's your style? What you drinking? What's your vibe? I've been feeling rather sad. Oh yeah. Pouring up with the blue champagne, blue champagne.